This is a production of SDPB.
Touchdown! This is for a state championship. Oh, drug kick, and it's good.
There's going to be some highlights coming off of this.
The short range jumper.
Edging out in lane 4, the top seed.
This South Dakota High School State Championship event is conducted under the direction of the South Dakota High School Activities Association.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Locks Arena inside the Barnett Center on the campus of Northern State University. I'm Brad DeBeer alongside Steve Erickson. This is one of the greatest spectacles of the sports season here at Northern State University. Before we get started, we got to give a little shout. Brian Gaikowski, he's keeping us fed. So all weekend long we'll have these. So Gaik, thanks for that. He wasn't able to make it, but he hooked us up anyway.
Appreciate it, Gaik.
Yeah, it's all about us, I guess. Let's talk a little bit, Steve, about this tournament. 6 of the 8 teams that played in it last year are back, and a lot of familiar names.
It is, and I think you got 8 teams again, and credit to the kind of the Sodak 16, I think, for getting, you know, there's some that are probably at home that could be here, but you're going to have 8 teams that I think all come in with a legitimate chance to maybe win this thing, and who can put the best 3 games together to this weekend.
Well, and you talked about it earlier. You talked to somebody from Viborg Hurley, and it was just a fan or something that you knew, and they said, I don't know if we're really the best #1 seed. I don't know if we're the best tournament here. We're the one. And that just speaks to the level of this tournament, I think, more than not downplaying Viborg Hurley, because they're very good.
Yeah, and that goes credit their schedule, and I think Coach Warwick talked about that. They had a stretch over Christmas break where they played 3 highly ranked opponents and came out with wins. So, and you see that with everybody. DeSmit had a really tough schedule. Castlewood, their schedule. So those seed points really help, but those games against those state tournament teams, whether it be a Class A or Class B team, really set teams up to be playing their best at this time of the year.
We open it up, the 1 versus 8, Viborg Hurley and Lyman, then the 4 versus 5, Aberdeen Christian and Castlewood. Should be a dandy for our second game today, our night session. The Freeman Flyers, a lot of people's pick to win this state tournament as the #2 seed. Sully Buttes at #7, and then DeSmit and Wall. DeSmit back to the state tournament. Sully Buttes, another team that synonymous with state tournaments, haven't been here for a little while, but they're back, so that fills the field for us this weekend.
Yeah, and like I said, 8 teams that I think have a legitimate chance coming in here on opening day of the State B tournament that feel like they can.
And we saw the 8 over the 1 last weekend. Lyman was the 1, and the girls, their boys, get the chance to pull the upset. So let's talk about that team out of Lyman County, Presho, their high school. Cooper Garnis, 63. The enrollment, red, black, and white. The colors, they're just going to go red and black. Today, there's no white mixed in, but Illinois Loyalty is their school song. Take a look at how they got here. They beat Mitchell Christian and Corsica Stickney pretty handily in region play, and then a nice 13-point win where they kind of controlled that whole game over Leola Frederick. Another team that could just as well be here. They've had a good couple of past seasons, and then that sets up our matchup with Viborg Hurley here today. They'll start this way. Conway Collins, a 6'1 senior. MJ Dean, kind of their team leader. He averages 17.5 points, 5 assists per game. Cole Kiefer, a 6'4 sophomore. Dawson Volmer, a 6'4 junior. And Chase Seaboy, a 6'4 junior as well in that starting lineup. And again, their opponents, well, they had a chance last year to win it, but Castlewood was just a little bit better on that night, but they're back now as the #1 seed. Viborg Hurley out of Viborg, Turner County, the Cougars. Shane Warwick, the head coach, the enrollment, 90. They are the biggest Class B school at 90. You can't get any bigger and still be in Class B. Again, that's because of obviously the 2 towns there. On Wisconsin, black and white are their school colors. They'll be wearing the white uniforms today. Avon and Centerville fell victim to Viborg Hurley, and then the win over White River, a 13-point win for them as well in the Sodak 16, and they'll take on Lyman here this opening round. They'll start this way. Braden Morrison, a 6'2 senior, he brings some energy, he brings a little swagger to this team. Jake Austin, 5'9 senior. Nolan Koltoff, a 6'4 senior, he had a really good state tournament last year in kind of a well, he's a reserve role last year, but just kind of that third or fourth guy. And man, he had a nice tournament. Walker Warwick playing for his dad. Played in this tournament last year with Del Rapids St. Mary's. Now he's at Viborg Hurley with his dad and a starter. Their leader, though, Brady Strodemeyer, the future Jackrabbit quarterback, the 6'2 senior. Averages right at 23 points a game, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3.5 steals. So that guy kind of does it all for this Viborg Hurley team. We're going to turn it over to our public address announcer, Mr. Kent Hansen, and get you ready for state high school basketball.
Good morning. The City of Aberdeen, Northern State University, Aberdeen Central High School, the South Dakota High School Activities Association, along with its corporate partners, Sanford Health, Dakota Bank, Farmers Union Insurance, Billion Automotive, and the South Dakota Army National Guard welcome you to the opening session of the 2026 State B Boys Basketball Tournament. Today's tournament is being conducted under the guidance and regulation of the South Dakota High School Activities Association for the enjoyment and benefit of high school students. Sportsmanship is essential for the success of these programs. We hope you will enjoy the games and support your athletes in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please remain standing as we honor our nation and its flag with the singing of the national anthem. The proper etiquette is to stand at attention facing the flag, remove all headgear, and place your right hand over your heart. Veterans and out-of-uniform military personnel have the option of saluting. Today's national anthem will be performed by Shelby Birch, Amanda Gage, Georgia Odenbach, Rachel Gage of Eureka, under the direction of Francie Ingerson. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, ladies. At this time, let's meet our junior officials. From Lyman, Dutch Ruman. And from Viborg Hurley, Caleb Van Otterloo. Today's officials will be referee Josh Mogg, umpire Jerry Beers, and umpire Scott Sonny, alternate official Spencer Oberly. Let's meet today's cheerleaders. First, for the visiting Lyman Raiders, Maria Brous, Carly Hoffman, Erica Jansen, and Amelia Mundalai. The Raiders are coached by Lacey Anderson. And now for the Viborg Hurley Cougar cheerleaders, Bridget Benest, Morgan Patterson, Jasmine Robinson, and Keela Scheidt. The Cougars are coached by Kiana Snoozy. The assistant coaches for Lyman are Matt Booth, Cruz Garnis, and Starkton McClanahan. The head coach of the Lyman Raiders is Cooper Garnis. The Cougar coaches are Corey Jacobson and Mason Madsen, and the head coach of Viborg Hurley is Shane Warwick. And now let's meet today's starters. First for the visiting Lyman Raiders as a guard, 6'1" senior number 2, Conway Collins. And for the Cougars, 6'2" senior number 1, Braden Morrison. At a guard for the Raiders, 5'11", junior number 3, MJ Deeb. And for the Cougars, 5'9", senior number 3, Jake Austin. In the middle for Lyman, 6'4", sophomore number 4, Cole Kiefer. And for the Cougars, 6'4", senior number 4, Nolan Kolpa. On the wing for the Raiders, 6'4", junior number 10, Dawson Volmer. And for the Cougars, 6'3", senior number 5, Walker Warwick. Out of forward for Lyman, 6'4", junior number 35, Chase Seaboy. And for the Cougars, 6'2", senior number 23, Brady Schroedermeyer. Today's lineups were brought to you by Channel Seed. Lyman fans, are you ready? Viborg Hurley fans, are you ready? Today's fan sections are brought to you by the University of South Dakota. Let's play ball!
And we are ready to roll with Brady Schroedermeyer and Cole Kiefer in the jump circle. Josh Mogg will toss it up, and we'll be underway in the 2026 Class B Boys State Basketball Tournament. He just about hit the scoreboard with it. He's a little amped up, maybe. Mogg got a little amped up on the toss. Did that bounce off the scoreboard? That came back quick. All right, we'll do it again. There. The way these guys get up, though, you've got to throw a little higher than you used to, right?
That's what we talked about, athletes in this tournament.
Viborg Hurley will control. Way out high will be Jake Austin. 3 on the way for Austin, about 23 feet away, no good. MJ Deem will pull it out for Lyman, and they're off and running.
Lyman looked like a little bit of a triangle or a diamond in one there on Schroedermeyer.
How many times do you think he's seen that this year? 3 left short. Conway Collins missed that one. And a rebound for Viborg Hurley. So get the jitters out right away here. Both teams gonna take a couple quick shots. Now we're off and running.
Yeah, triangle too.
Morrison for 3, left it off the front iron. Another rebound for Deem.
Deem on Morrison and Collins on Schroedermeyer.
Volmer out here on the right wing.
Volmer at the top of it, that length and athleticism up there too.
It's an interesting setup, but you do what you got to do to try to win these games in this moment.
Viborg Hurley just straight man-to-man.
Dean pull up, free throw line, got it, MJ Dean. Walker Warwick just got rolled in the middle of the lane there. Outstretched hands of number 35, Chase Seaboy.
Deem just a junior, but their leading scorer and really had a good tournament last year here for him too.
Yeah, he kind of burst on the scene for us last year at the state tournament as the way he could distribute and the way he could shoot it. Conway Collins will pick up his first personal foul. Oh, nice back door. Schroedermeyer up and in. Nice cut and a good bounce pass by Walker Warwick. Tied at 2 apiece. Just about 2 minutes gone in our opening quarter. Kiefer will hand off. Deem now guarded by Austin. It's like we never left this spot. All these names we're calling out from last year. Like we've been sitting here for a year.
Yeah. And like you mentioned earlier, 6 of the 8 teams back, so makes it a little bit easier to announce it.
Jake Austin, that takeaway at the other end. Now Walker Warwick with a little jump float in the middle. And then Warwick has his first basket with 4-2.
Good flash from Warwick in the middle of that triangle and find that soft spot.
And again, you have to have guys like that hit shots, right, against those types of defenses.
Yeah, I mean, those are the ones that are there. And it's something that we had talked about. You get those shots, and those are the ones you want to be taking. But as long as they're going in, it's positive for you.
Kiefer has it taken away. Schroedermeyer, 1-on-4. Now he'll kick it out. Morrison for 3. No, off the front iron. Deem with another rebound. The point guard just cleaning up house down there on the defensive rebounding end. Bulmer for 3, no good. Chase Seaboy, a little dirty work under the hoop to get an offensive rebound. Deem, jump stop, step through, got it off the glass and good for MJ Deem. 17.5 points, 5 assists, 8.1 rebounds for the 6'1", or the 5'11" point guard rather. Lob inside, Kolthoff, blocked. Cole Kiefer got off the floor quick to block that shot.
Kiefer is one that came off the bench for Lyman last year and gave them some really positive minutes. Stepping into that starting role this year.
Kiefer on the right wing, lefty stroke. That's a sweet stroke. Schroedermeyer way up high. The rebound, give it up to Jake Austin. He'll give it to Morrison. Coach Warwick shouts out a set. Subs get ready to come in here, and we'll go to the media timeout on our next dead ball. We haven't had very many of them here. Not sure we've had one yet, have we?
That's just the one foul.
And there we'll get our media timeout with 3:54 to play. We're back with more on SDPB Sports.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
And we're back inside Walks Arena at the Barnett Center. Ready to inbound it on the baseline. We got the last 3:54 of our opening quarter. Same play they ran the first out of bounds play. Another foul called here as Schroedermeyer got knocked in the head maybe. And Collins will pick up his second personal. So Conway Collins in a little foul trouble here early on for Lyman.
Nice set for Viber Curley there. They run their shooters off of Schroedermeyer, and then he just, as guys help out on those to the corners, then he just flashes back to it. Attacks the rim.
Schroedermeyer so strong. You can tell that obviously he signed on to go play football for South Dakota State next year and The weight room has been his friend, it looks like, on his upper body since then.
Impressive thing with him, I think, is just how fast he gets off the floor too. He's a great athlete, but when he jumps, obviously jumps high, but as quick as he gets and explosive.
And the family connection, of course, his cousin Chase Mason is the current quarterback at South Dakota State. Takeaway on the missed rebound. Austin will run the baseline, stepped out of bounds. Scott Sonny says, we're going the other direction.
Just not much room for Jake there to get anything done. He'll pick up Dean full court here. That's a great matchup with those two.
Just remember last year that Jake Austin was just kind of that pest. He'd get out full court. There he is. Let me set him up and take it away. Lean in off the glass, no good. Schroedermeyer they're going to call offensive goaltending. Schroedermeyer just about threw that back down. Wouldn't have counted as the goaltending was called. Ball on top of the rim like that. Obviously can't touch it.
Brady just mistimed his jump a little bit. Otherwise, I thought it was going to be the first dunk of the weekend.
Took off from about halfway through the lane.
Couple subs for Vibert Hurley. 11 is Lincoln Van Orsdale, and 2, I believe, is Brenner Gertis.
And what, Josiah Vaughn in for Lyman. Step through on the baseline, MJ Dean. Dean's got all 6 of the Lyman points, and they lead 6-5. Austin, good leave inside, blocked from behind as Brenner Gertis couldn't get the ball to the basket. Gertis, a little undersized post player, 6'1". Stepped out of bounds, did MJ Dean. That's a good pass just to get that through there.
Yeah. Canyon Garnos thread the needle, but just squeezed him on the baseline a little bit.
Oh, didn't get turned around. Brennan had a guy wide open under the basket. Lincoln Van Orsdale. Van Orsdale checks it. Austin for 3 from the baseline. Got it. Jake Austin with his first triple, our first made three-pointer of the contest. Approaching 2 minutes to go in our opening quarter. Kiefer in the paint. Turn around, Brennan Gertis, great defense right up till the release of the shot, and then bumped the elbow. Gertis will get the foul. Coach Warwick and everyone on his staff standing up wanting a travel called there. But first one no good.
Replaying about the last 4 possessions here of stuff he wanted called a certain way. And
yeah, I'm not mad about that. I'm mad 3 trips ago down that end. Those
are the ones that stick with you and remember, though.
Obviously, most coaches live basketball, right? I mean, that's just kind of what you do. You're a basketball coach, that's what you live. I mean, literally, Shane Warwick lives basketball. When he's not coaching this team, that's what he does. It's more basketball, so he made a pretty good business out of his workouts. Schroedermeyer skip pass. Van Orsdale, 3, no good. Rebound, battle. Gertis comes up with it.
Coach Warwick was trying to get a timeout down there,
I don't think anybody had possession yet. There's a push in the back. We're going to go on the baseline. That foul going to be called on Lyman. Was that on Lounsbury that came in? Or excuse me, not Lounsbury. Garnos.
Garnos, yep.
8-7, Viberg Hurley. Schroedermeyer to the baseline, leave it in the lane. Gertis can't come up with the turnover. Here comes Lyman. Dean will slow it down. Man-to-man again by Viberg Hurley. Vollmer on the cut. Little contact in the finish. Dawson Vollmer with his first basket. Just about 1 minute to play in our opening quarter.
Dawson,
good one.
Yeah, Dawson last year as a sophomore was was a big part of this Lyman team, but you can tell he's really found the weight room too, and another year older and just putting through some of that contact.
Yeah, his shoulders are, you just can tell. Remember last year, he's a little stick out there, and he was good, but it was just, the size was different. That foul going to be whistled against number 5. Oh, no, they changed that on number 1. Sayavad. And Orsdell on the right wing. Morrison to Schroedermeyer. Back up top. Gertis swing it. Morrison for 3. Got it, Braden Morrison.
Morrison's a kid that can score it in bunches and shoot it really well from the outside. So you can't, that's why you've seen Lyman mix up what they've done. They went with the triangle and 2 to start. They went some 2-3 zone. They've been man this last possession. So guys that you don't want to let get their feet set and get good shots off. So
Morrison's averaging 9 points a game. Shoots 29% from the three-point line. Dean fadeaway baseline, no good. Rebound. Schroedermeyer lost it. Turnaround. Kiefer, no. And we'll go to the end of our first quarter. Viborg Hurley 11, Lyman 9. We're back with more on SDPB Sports.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, opportunity is turned into progress. Through research, education, and a community that inspires, SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're taking action with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
Welcome back inside Wachs Arena. I'm Brad DeBeer alongside Steve Erickson on the campus of Northern State University. Coach Garnels on the far side from us. There's our first dunk of the game. It'll be a game into the tournament. The lab to Vollmer for the flush. Make sure Levi's marking that down in the back. It's 11-11 out of the timeout. That's a drawn-up play, obviously, and it worked to perfection. And then Viborg Hurley goes right back to their star.
Yeah, you can tell that's something they came out of quarter break with and ready to execute.
Schroedermeyer, first one, left it short off the freight run iron. Gonna have a second one. or 30 seconds gone, sorry, in this second quarter. 12-11 our score. Viborg Hurley by 1. Travel call on Lyman. We'll go the other way. So we've seen Viborg Hurley with a little full court pressure, but yet to see Lyman really come up and do it. They just kind of get back and then get after it in their little zone. Backdoor cut. Austin off the glass, left it short, guarded there by Dean.
Great backdoor cut and great pass from Koltoff.
Deem leaves it. Kiefer in the paint. Fouled and left it off the front iron. He's going to get 2 shots. Foul going to be called on number 1, Braden Morrison. Braden will pick up his first personal.
There's Deem again making another impact. You know, they look to him to score so much, being their leading scorer, but everybody's attention is on him. There's a dump off there for Kiefer.
Cole Kiefer from the free throw line, just 49% on the year, but made that one look easy. Second one up, got that one to go. Kiefer's 75% free throw shooter today on 3 of 4. Good save by Morrison just to catch that. Austin, Morrison for 3. No, rebound. Walker, Warwick can't come up with it, and Lyman will come with it. There's Austin again. Vollmer, blocking foul going to be called on Jake Austin. Just moved a little bit. Intensity and speed has picked up a little bit from that first quarter. Like both teams just a little bit seeing who each other is.
Well, it felt like that first 3 or 4 minutes went by really fast, but it was just kind of feeling out what each team was going to do.
Right, baseline Vollmer, no off the front of the rim. Schroedermeyer will grab and go. Austin, Schroedermeyer just missed it. We've seen that throughout the year, though. Deem with contact. No, we'll go the other way. Kolthoff. Schroedermeyer waits for his point. Ooh, just barely. Morrison almost didn't get both feet across the line. Morrison off the screen, inside Kolthoff. Good catch. Nolan Kolthoff with the catch and the lay-in.
It's another one of those instances where they run Morrison off a fade screen from Kolthoff at the elbow, and everybody's attention goes to Morrison, not wanting him to get that shot up, and backdoor look for Kolthoff.
Shot for 3, no good. Rebound and clear out, or is it going to be a hold? I think they're going to have the hold on Kolthoff.
They called on Schroedermeyer.
They did. I thought it was Kolthoff behind him holding on to him, but Brady will pick up his first. Kiefer. Good job of going up strong with 2 hands and then finishing on the left side.
Great ball fake, because if he goes up with that right away, I think Schroedermeyer gets it, but great patience, and then, like you said, going attacking with 2.
Warwick throws it behind Austin, who came off a screen from Schroedermeyer. A turnover. 5:23 to play in our second quarter. 15-14. We will talk with the team, the coach of the team that's ahead at halftime going into the locker room. Coming out, we'll catch the coach of the team that's trailing at halftime. If they're tied, I'll just pick somebody. How's that sound? I'll take the higher seed. That way we do it the same every time.
There you go.
How's that work? Gertis, swing it, Warwick. Gertis, back to Austin. The ball movement, Austin's gonna get a 3 out of it on the left wing. Jake Austin with 6 points in the game. Averages 12 points, 2 assists per contest. Off the front of the rim and then somehow finding a way and just survive. 18-17 Lyman. Next dead ball will be our immediate timeout. Austin the runner, no good. Rebound taken out of there by Vollmer. A lot of arms and hands above the rim in this game right now.
And like you said earlier too, just physical. Both teams gonna have to attack the glass with 2 hands and be strong with rebounds.
Doesn't feel like she should be playing that hard at 11:30 in the morning, but these 2 teams getting after it.
The new start times, but yeah, state tournament, you got to be ready to play no matter what your draw is.
Austin on the right wing. Straight man-to-man now for Lyman on everybody. They went away from that triangle and 2. With Schroedermeyer out, that changed it a little bit. Now he'll come back in next dead. Warwick floater, no good. Had to change his shot. Ball tipped and taken away, but brought back to Lyman. Deem on the run. Left baseline. Inside. Now we're going to have bodies. It's a loose ball. Let's play on. Now we'll get the foul. We will have immediate timeout as you take a look at Viborg Hurley headed to the bench to talk things over. 18-17. We're back with more on SDPB Sports.
Reading opens every door to learning, opportunity, and understanding. The South Dakota Department of Education is strengthening literacy outcomes for students across our state, helping educators connect classroom instruction to the science of how children learn to read and write. Through professional support and shared resources, schools are building strong foundation in literacy for every learner. South Dakota Department of Education, learning, leadership, service.
You're committed to building relationships, to exceeding expectations, to serving your community. Your financial partner should share your vision and your values. For 130 years, we've stood by South Dakotans. We've been there, we'll be there. Convenient, connected, committed. Bank West, member FDIC.
And we're back. There's a good look at Walks Arena on the campus of Northern State University inside the Barnett Center as we come out of the media timeout. Back to not quite starters, is it? I don't think so. Looking at Viborg Hurley, I think they've still got one sub in there.
Two, I think.
Van Orsdale. Oh, yeah, Gerda's still in there too. Yep.
Austin and Kolthoff are
pretty much everybody that left before, huh?
Yep.
Lyman will control. Get that immediate timeout. You feel like, okay, got a lot of quarter left. Not really. 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Warwick with the takeaway.
It's been, yeah, there has not been a lot of stoppages with fouls and or other stuff being called.
Schroedermeyer wanted the lob. Gerdes tried to just go right to him. Turnaround jumper, Vaught, no good. Rebound, Schroedermeyer. Give to Morrison, they'll talk things over, and Schroedermeyer will handle the point now. Interesting how he's changed his role after losing some big guys off of last year's team. Schroedermeyer down the lane, no good. A lot of contact once again. We play on.
Well, I think Brady last year played the same way, but maybe didn't have to quite as much. You had Hanson, Niederbaumer kid. I mean, they were a different type of basketball team last year too, with their size and how they played. So this year, not quite as much size. It lends to Brady's ability and the way they play their game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. How he's been able to adapt and move to different pieces or parts of the lane or the floor for them to run different offenses. You will not have a shortage of set plays from Coach Warwick. He will have a folder full.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing you saw right at the beginning too when Lyman came out with their triangle and two. It wasn't something that you see all the time, but obviously Coach Warwick being around a long time, and he was ready for it. They had stuff, and they got that good look right in the middle of it. But again, it's something probably Coach Garnos wants to do, just to disrupt the tempo a little bit, give him something to think about. And
yeah, you got to change it up a little bit. 18-17. Dean. Kick out right side, three on the way. That's no good for Canyon Garnis.
You can see out of that timeout too, another set play by Lyman. Quarter break, it was the lob to Volmer that time. They get a three-point look for Garnos in the corner.
Braden Morrison out top. Now Austin, back to Morrison. Three for Braden Morrison. Both teams still just trying to figure each other out a little bit. It's a physical first half too. We'll see how that changes, if it changes the way either one of these teams comes out second half.
Both teams playing physical, but playing pretty clean basketball. Not foul trouble or.
Well, and the contact that we've had has all been A lot of loose ball contact, nothing that's really made a difference in a play per se.
Well, and kind of the going into guys in the paint, the verticality and stuff. You're just seeing guys that are physical. And
now we
until
see
that
a foul on the shot.
It's going to be second on Brady. Push on that one that he probably didn't need to.
Yeah, that's always a tough one with under a minute to play. Pick up that second foul. Now you got to take your leading scorer off the floor for your next possession before the half. We're waiting for everybody to get lined up. Who did he push? Everybody's talking to each other. Which one gets it? Who pushed who? Where? What are we doing? They may not bring Schroedermeyer out, though. Now they're bringing Walker Warwick back in. Just not sure who he's coming in for. He's got Sonny. Josh Mogg will huddle up and look things over. They're trying to see who he pushed.
I don't think it was Deem, honestly. I think it was number 4,
Kiefer.
Cole Kiefer.
And
which you said he's shooting 3 out of.
He's 3 for 4, but he's a 49% free throw shooter.
They know for sure, and Deem's wanting to be there at the line to shoot it. But yeah, it was Kiefer that got pushed on the rebound.
Deem 72% free throw shooter, so switch it up. That's an old school move right there.
They got the smile going and stuff too. So
Deem is looking at him like, hey, got to try. Good job by the officials, though. Again, got together a couple different times.
And went to the alternate official at the table, which at the state tournament is big to have.
Huge.
You can go check that. So
didn't matter. Kiefer knocks that first one down. He's 4 for 5 here. Again, coming up at the half, we'll visit with the leading coach or pick our higher seed. So see what happens here over the last 50 seconds. Kiefer got it, tied at 20.
He's going to have to give Deem a little grief for that. Wanting to shoot the free throws. And
just take my stats, man. Take my stats. What's going on over there? Morrison goes it inside, has it knocked away. Austin gets it back. Stuck in the corner. Fire it way out to the left wing. Gertis will give. Warwick kick out. No, we're going to have a 3-second call. No, timeout prior to. So with 3 seconds on the shot clock, Coach Warwick burns a 30-second timeout. Wants to know exactly where it'll be. Should be on the baseline on the left side because he was left side of the lane but inside that three-point line.
Yeah.
And again, if you weren't watching last weekend, we had this, the golden whistle, called it perfectly. But there was a girl stuck in the left corner outside the three-point line with the basketball. And they inbounded right in front of us about 3/4 court up, a quarter of the way up. That's 28-foot line.
28-foot line.
Yeah, and we questioned it, whatever. Well, we got the explanation, obviously, with the new 4-spot rule where you inbound, the ball has to be inside the three-point line to be at the baseline. Anywhere outside of that, it goes to the sideline, if that makes sense. That's nothing about under the top of the key or any of that anymore. It's inside that three-point line. So,
yeah. 3 seconds on the shot clock, and you talked about earlier about Coach Warwick having all kinds of set plays. Here's and they put it 4 back on the clock.
Yeah, on the baseline, they get one right away. Instant bounce, it's blocked. That's a charge. Absolutely no doubt about that call the minute the whistle went. Here you'll see it. Blocked by Kiefer. Kolthoff frustrated, right back at him and just put the shoulder down.
Great look to get a great look with it, but Kiefer just walling up at on the block and using his length there.
14.9 seconds to play. Coach Garnels wants to take one final shot. Down to 7-6. I'm going to switch over to the cordless. And we'll go the other way. So, barring a turnover, we're going to talk to Coach Warwick. Check, got it on. I want to make sure this was on too, by the way. I just got to give it a little quick check. So, I'm going to get ready to head down that direction. Inbound for Viborg Hurley. Jake Austin, half court. Gets to the 3. Oh, he gets all the way down in the lane. The layup is good. Unbelievable finish. We're going to catch up with Coach Warwick as the Cougars will make their way out of halftime. Excuse me, guys. We'll catch up with Coach Warwick. What a finish to that first half as Coach Warwick makes his way over here.
Great job by Jake Austin there to get all the way to the rim and catch it on the run and finish.
Coach Warwick with us, and Coach, what a great finish there to the first half. Jake Austin gets it length of the floor in 3 seconds. That's a great way to go into halftime.
Yeah, they executed that really well. There's been a lot of good things that we have not completed or finished that has hurt us, but defensive rebounding has hurt us in the first half, so we got to do a better job there.
Talk about the physicality of that first half. I mean, you just got to come out and be ready to play right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt it's state tournament's more physical, and we saw that firsthand, and we got to step it up in that area, no question. Appreciate the time. Good luck.
Thanks. Shane Warwick, head coach, Viborg Hurley. They got a lead. They're up 22-20 as we head to halftime on SDPB Sports.
You live life on the move. While you determine what direction that may be, we're here to help along the way. So go. Go with values. Go with friends. Go with support. Go with convenience.
Bioethanol supplies more than just energy. It creates jobs in rural communities. It drives demand for local corn. It provides opportunities for family farms to thrive. To ensure agriculture plays a leading role in the efforts to decarbonize and transition energy, bioethanol remains at the forefront of a pursuit for a cleaner, brighter future for all Americans. Learn how at sdethanol.com.
Powering the possibilities of tomorrow starts today. For our homes, our farms, our businesses. That's why our Touchstone Energy Cooperative continually plans for the future by utilizing and sourcing safe, reliable power for the next generation. So we can power possibilities long into the future. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, powering possibilities.
From Walks Arena inside Barnett Center on the campus of Northern State University. Courtside, I'm Brad DeBeer alongside Steve Erickson. And Steve, you heard Shane talk about defensive rebounding he wasn't real happy with. That's going to be a conversation point for their team that they need to clean up.
Yeah, and one of those things where Coach talked about, they executed some things really well. They just didn't finish. I think he had a couple sets on the offensive end that they just didn't finish, but had it set up really well. And then when Lyman has missed shots, and then Lyman's only 1 of 8 from 3-point, but some of those are getting those second chances, and that's what Coach was talking about, needing to clean up and being a little more physical and aggressive on the glass, I think.
Being out rebounded right now 16-12. They do have 8 defensive rebounds. Here you see some highlights from that first half. Lyman has 4 offensive rebounds. So again, you don't like that 2-1. You maybe want a little bit better, maybe more 3-1 type thing.
Well, there's been a couple of those times, too, where I think he's also probably referring to maybe like Schroedermeyer's last foul. It's like you go get a block out instead of that push. There's one less foul, too, and Lyman's not going to the line, and Kiefer knocks both free throws down. So kudos to Lyman. A little bit longer, a little bit more length with their whole entire lineup than what Viborg really can put on the floor, but really attacking the glass. And
there you saw that last layup by Jake Austin, that little Euro step, if you will, faked it to the sideline and then stepped right through and laid it in. 4 of 9 from the three-point line as Viborg Hurley, 8 of 23 overall, 34% from that first half. At the free throw line, 2 of 4 for 50%. And then Lyman, 7 of 19 from the field, but just 1 of 8 from the three-point line. They are 5 of 6, though, from the free throw line. Leading scorers in that first half, 8 points for Jake Austin, 6 for Braden Morrison, 4 for Brady Schroedermeyer. If you're Cooper Garnos, like you said, Brady Schroedermeyer, 4 points and 2 fouls. You'll take that any day of the week.
Which Coach Garnos is probably talking to his guys to be ready, though, because you know Brady's going to come back out for another 16 minutes and try to prove that wrong, too, a little bit.
Guys that average 23 points a game don't like to have 4 at halftime, right? They want the basketball a little more.
And I think kudos to Schroedermeyer for the kind of player he is, too. He hasn't been forcing stuff. He's been distributing the ball a little bit, and Morrison's hit a couple threes, and Jake Austin's got a couple things going and hit a couple threes. So Brady's not forcing it because he's not scoring. So, I mean, that's a good thing for Viber Hurley as well.
Cole Kiefer with 7, Dawson Vollmer with 4, 6 points for MJ Deem, 3 for Josiah Vaught for Lyman. We'll take a break, come back, catch up with Coach Garnos of Lyman when we return here. It's halftime of our opening game of the 2026 State B Boys Basketball Tournament.
Creating a legacy means different things to everyone. For us, it's about family, watching my daughter follow in my footsteps, passing the farm onto her, and working side by side every day. It's about building something that lasts. AgTegra Cooperative has been by our side through it all, supporting us from one generation to the next. AgTegra Cooperative, legacy rich, future focused for generations to come.
For over 55 years, Muth Electric has been powering progress across the Midwest. Our team of professionals deliver electrical solutions with innovation and safety at the core. We work with purpose, knowing that each project contributes to something bigger. Muth Electric, a partner in building a brighter future since 1970.
Peterson Reps real-life seed heroes? Well, they've been known to go the extra mile. Literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson Reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson. We're that kind of seed company.
Welcome back inside Wax Arena. I'm Brad DeBeer with Steve Erickson. Cooper Garnos going to make his way through the Northern State Wolf blow up over here in just a second. I just saw him making his way out, so we'll catch Coach Garnos on his way out. Visit with him real quick. Coach, you got a second? Yep, here he comes. Real quick, Coach, talk about that first half. What'd you like that your team did in that first half?
Well, you know, I've worked these for many games as defense, rebounding, quality possessions. I can't say that enough. Every possession is so vital. First half, you know, I liked our effort. We need to continue probably just make one more pass. Think about that, one more pass offensively. That's what we're talking about.
Talk about the physicality of that first half on both ends. That's state tournament basketball.
That is, and you know, the officials, you get to this level with the athletes that are here, the best teams that are here. And there's one thing, you got to match it, no doubt about it, because they're not going to give any cheap fouls, little fouls.
Good luck the second half, Coach.
Thanks, appreciate it.
You bet. Cooper Garnos, the head coach. We're going to throw it back to Steve. Steve, talk about your thoughts of the second half.
Yeah, I think you heard Coach Garnos talk about, you know, he's pleased with what his team is doing, and being an 8 seed and only down 2 at half, I think you really got to tip your cap to his crew. He's came out, and I feel like they executed his game plan, I would imagine, to kind of where he wants, but just finishing a couple more things on the offensive end, but I'm sure he's pleased with what they've done on the glass. And like you talked about with Coach Warwick going into halftime, they clean up the glass and get some of those, you know, limit opportunities for Lyman to score. Viber Hurley maybe get out transition a little bit and get some easier looks.
Well, and you know, he talked about those quality possessions. He's talking maybe about 8 turnovers in that first half, and you can credit Jake Austin. He picked up a couple of steals just right off of takeaways, just guarding one-on-one out on the perimeter. And again, you got to handle the basketball a little bit. I think you watch people on film a lot, and obviously these guys have watched a ton of film of each other. What you don't get out of film is the speed. And Jake Austin is quick.
Well, that's a great matchup. Jake Austin for Viber Curley and MJ Dean for Lyman. Two kind of very, very similar players, but like you said, the film and the TV doesn't do justice to how quick and athletic those guys really are.
We were about ready to get it going. Then we were going to get the music turned off.
Scott Sonny said we're not playing with music on.
Yeah. Party pooper. Look at now. He's looked like, we ready? Now we're ready. I don't know. That wasn't you, Margaret. That was all Sonny that time, buddy. That was all him. 7:50 to play. Where's Tal Farnham when we need him? The Rat Pack, man. Where are they at right now?
Tal would have left the tunes playing.
Missed three to start it. Second half. Cody Vollmer, or Cody Vollmer's son, Dawson Vollmer with the rebound. Although we saw Cody could still dunk it, he had a throwdown. Thank you. Had a throwdown at the First Bank and Trust Arena in warm-ups or in the shoot-around on Wednesday with his team last weekend. So he still looks like he could step out here and run up and down and play. Actually,
yeah.
Kiefer kick it out, wide left on that one by Collins. And then another foul going to be going. We're going to go the other way. They're going to get Collins with his third, I think. Bodies everywhere. And I think somebody got crashed into him, and then he ended up running into somebody else.
He kind of looked at the ref and was like, he pulled my arm, pulled me down. But yeah, I think they got the initial when Collins come running into them.
Conway picks up his third personal.
He sat for a lot of that first half, too. But see yet another deal. Looked like a 1-3-1, but into man.
He was, Coach Garnos says, I was watching him, he was yelling, he was waiting, and then he yelled, match up, so they were going to try to show maybe. Oh, MJ Dean says, I'm giving you a little your own medicine. Tied up, held ball, possession arrow goes to Lyman.
We talked about last year at the State B tournament, it was such a tournament of teams with big guys. You think of Lowy from Castlewood and Hanson from Viber Curley, and just the bigs that were in the tournament last year. And now, not that there's not bigs here, but center stage, you got Austin versus Deem and two 5'11" guys kind of.
6'10" Grant Wilkinson would disagree with you that it's not about the bigs,
well,
right? We'll see him later. Blocking foul. It's 3 on Schroedermeyer. Brady tried to draw one. I think he tried to take it too soon, and that's why it got called. He's falling back already when the contact happens. So now he's got to be smart. Well, actually, he's going to have to come out right away. They're going to have to try to survive it. And the in and out, no good for Vollmer. Dawson misses his first opportunity at the free throw line here this morning.
And not that you ever want your best player sitting on the bench in foul trouble, but I mean, like we talked about, Brady only has 4 points and you're still a 2-point lead. So I think it's one of those where you're going to try to weather it as long as you can with buying him time. But that's where you need your other guys to step up, Morrison and Austin, to continue doing his thing. And
Kolthoff might have to be the guy now that gets some buckets that he wasn't getting in that first half. Vollmer will make good on the second free throw. Kolthoff averages 8 points a game. Jake Austin, second leading scorer with 11 points a game. And then Morrison with 9 after Schroedermeyer with his 23 points a contest.
I'd venture to guess majority of the stuff that Kolthoff gets is just from kind of doing the dirty work and the old glass and that kind of stuff, and guys worrying about other,
like that one,
right
if he'd have brought it down.
just about.
Kiefer came out of there with it. MJ Dean with the handles there to the lane. Dish down inside. Chase Seaboy with his first basket of the game. And our 8th seed has taken the lead here in the second half. 23-22. Just about 3 minutes gone in our third quarter.
Great job by Seaboy right there, too, to set the... Austin stepped on the sideline right in front of us here.
Yeah, tried to save it and just stepped sideways and stepped on the line. Scott Sonny points the other direction.
But Seaboy and I think Kiefer and I think even Vollmer a little bit, you've seen from them too, that they set those ball screens for Deem. They're ready to receive it on the backside on the roll, and when guys are helping. always have the hands ready to score it.
On the baseline, pull up, Vollmer got it. That's a nice shot for him going to the baseline. And here's where it gets testy if you're Viborg Hurley. If you don't get a bucket this possession, there's the turnover. Do you go back to Brady Schroedermeyer this quick? You have to have your kind of scoring leader at some point, but can you get a stop here to keep it at just one possession?
I think now is one of those times, too, you got to hang your hat on your defense a little bit. Keep yourselves in the game. And
Kiefer, it looked like he picked up his pivot. I thought he went.
That one kind of drug a little bit.
Going to be Viborg Hurley basketball, and we'll go to our immediate timeout. With that being said, 25-22, we're back with more on SDPB Sports.
At Southeast Technical College, you won't just study for a career, you'll live it. Training in classrooms that look, feel, and operate just like the real world. Because the best way to do what you learn is to learn by doing. Get your degree, get to work at Southeast Technical College.
Hey, buddy.
Your Great Plains Case IH dealers know that hard work starts early, in the field and on the field or the court. Dedication, teamwork, pride, the values driving farmers also powers South Dakota athletes. Growing crops or growing champions, it takes the same drive to succeed. Your local Great Plains Case IH dealers know the future is built by showing up day after day, ready to work, ready to win. Great Plains Case IH dealers, supporting schools, athletes, and the communities we grow.
From Wax Arena, inside the Barnett Center, I'm Brad DeBeer. Thanks for having us on. Bo, thanks for watching today. Appreciate it. Everybody's at work. It's like, it is true March Madness with the NCAA tournament underway, right? So everybody's got a game on somewhere. Most of you, I would hope, are watching the Bees, but maybe on a secondary device you're watching an NCAA game or something.
Multiple TVs in the living room.
I would hope so. Jay Seaboy going to pick up his first personal. That's the one thing about being opposite the bench that they report the fouls to. You got to learn how to read the hands different again now. Warwick makes the first. Walker's got 3 points. Misses that one. Vollmer will tip it out. Lyman will run. Kiefer down the lane, jump stop. Ripped away by Kolkoff, but he landed on the baseline. So it'll stay Lyman basketball.
Great take by Kiefer on the jump stop, but then he brought the ball right back into Kolkoff. And
I don't know that he knew Kolkoff was coming.
Totally,
he came out of nowhere. Seaboy swinging around. They brought Collins back in with those 3 fouls for Lyman. Last touch by Viborg Hurley, and the Cougars will play defense. A lot of powerful offenses in this tournament, and we get to the state tournament, what happens? Lots of 51-49, 48-46 games.
Defense is
just defense wins, right?
The game, yeah.
Tipped away. In the lane, MJ Dean up and in. Nice patience. I mean, that's a kid who's growing, came in as a sophomore last year, like you talked about, but in that situation, took his time, found the rim. A year ago would have been just rushed. Austin will make it count on the other end. Jake on the 3-point play.
Great answer.
The foul going to be called on Dean from behind. MJ picks up his first.
So mark this down, 3:52 in the third, and they come back with Schroedermeyer, with his 3.
Do they switch up and not play man-to-man, or do they just switch matchups and let him go on somebody that maybe they don't think is an offensive threat? Could see him guarding Seaboy.
Well, Lyman hasn't shot it great from the outside either, so if he can buy a little bit of time in his zone maybe, but...
And that's what they did. They put him on Chase Seaboy at the high post. He's antsy. That's what you got to tell your guy that's usually one of those jump the ball type guys. Don't be antsy and make a silly foul. 3-pointer, Conway Collins on the right baseline. Schroedermeyer on the sprint out. Gets pushed. They'll say it's on the floor. He was waving that off right away. Jerry Beers waved that off before. He might have been waving before he blew the whistle. That's how early he was calling that one off. Foul calling Dawson Vollmer. Austin way out high. Warwick on the right baseline. Man-to-man by Lyman. To the high post and then a quick bounce pass. Schroedermeyer going to be fouled by MJ Beam. MJ will pick up his second in as many trips.
MJ asking that it was kind of incidental, but yeah, not a big window for that backdoor look, but forced the foul.
Schroedermeyer. First one is good. Brady's got 5 points. Well under his season average, and that's a credit to the Lyman defense in that first half.
Yeah, you heard Coach Garnos talked about it. He's happy with what his team has done in that first half and continues to do here in the second, I think, with their defensive game plan.
Collins over on the right sideline. Good ball movement, keep moving it around. Quality possessions is what Coach Garnos wanted this half as well. Vollmer for three. If you're going to get that one, it's a quality possession. Vollmer, his first triple.
Great look, and they kind of tried to ISO Vollmer in the post with Schroedermeyer guarding him, but then
fourth foul on Schroedermeyer. Let him go and then tried to block the shot. Here you'll see it coming right down the court. You let him go, then wanted to block it. Or are they going to call it underneath? Yep. Schroedermeyer picks up his fourth personal. So minute and 20-some seconds, minute 21 seconds.
And that's one of those too. He had Van Orsdale was there to kind of maybe try to take the charge, but like you had mentioned earlier too, he kind of started falling before the contact.
Credit Deem, I think he turned and went and noticed it was Schroedermeyer he was going. I said, I'm going to make him have to guard me or I'm going to get a layup. Took it strong in between two defenders. Good shot. Our basket Cam. Both free throws. 35-27. The number 8 seed up 8 right now. Going to be a repeat of last weekend in the girls' B tournament where the 8 knocks off the 1. Kolthoff, that one came off the hand funny. And Lyman will control.
Just Lyman continuing to do a great job on the glass on both ends of the floor. They're not, Viborg Hurley's not getting second chances when they're not finishing either.
Vollmer on the cut, that was a good catch because there was contact on the catch. Both players have a right to the ball, obviously, but man, there was, be able to rip that out of there. You see Cody Vollmer's put on a little strength.
Dawson.
Or Dawson. Well, I keep saying, thank you, just correct me every time because it'll be happening about 14 more times. No good for Deem on the 3 on the left wing. Jake Austin says, slow down. We need to get a good possession here.
Yeah, so where does Viborg Hurley go to get their offense right now? It's
almost got to be Austin somehow. It's just Deem has got a little size on him there. They look to go back door to Austin. Timeout with 11 seconds to play. They're going to get it on the sideline this time. As again, Austin was dribbling around outside of that three-point circle, or half circle, so he's out here on the wing.
Really try to go with a lot of backdoor stuff when they need a set, but Lyman was ready for it that time.
Should be a dandy coming up in our second one here today. Aberdeen Christian and Castlewood. The Knights of Aberdeen Christian, your 4 seed. Castlewood, your 5 seed. Both teams 20-3. Castlewood led by Cam Kessler, the dynamic junior guard, but been a little under the weather, so we'll see if he can battle that off to get back in field. I mean, you're in state tournament, you're going to play through it, but again, does it wind him? He's going to have to come out maybe a little more than normal.
And two teams in that next game that have been in the state tournament. I think Aberdeen Christian 6 years in a row, I think, and Castlewood the last 3 or 4, and having won it last year. So
we were impressed by Brooks Jett, the post player for Aberdeen Christian last year, and he's back as a junior, so it'll be fun to watch him and see what kind of size he's put on. Curtis fouled by
2 seconds.
Seaboy was that? Nope,
No,
that was a
Garnos,
foul on Canyon Garnos.
But yeah, 2 seconds on the shot clock, and kind of Curtis just had to try to make something happen. And
you got to try to defend it. Just jumped up into him instead of jumping straight up. Curtis with his first basket of the game. First point, I should say. Second one on the way, no good. Battle for the rebound. Kolkoff last to touch it. There was definitely some contact, but I mean, both guys are falling. Nobody had possession. I don't know if he grabbed a shoulder or not. I don't think he did. I think they just both lost their balance.
Yeah, both guys just kind of tied up with each other. I don't know that you could say one had.
He fell hard, and when you fall hard like that, that sometimes
makes
grabs
it look,
the attention of everyone else.
Well, it just happened to be right in front of Viber Hurley bench, so.
Worst place possible if you're one of the 3 guys in stripes. Kiefer looks for the back door, then hands off out top. Garnos swing it. Dean for 3 left baseline, no. Tipped, and a foul going to be called on Vollmer. Kolkoff maybe with a little extracurricular afterwards, but they'll play on. Here you'll see it. There's the contact right on the left shoulder. So Vollmer picks up his second. 44.4 seconds to play in our third quarter. Low scoring game, 35-28. Been a defensive battle. Not that it's been a lot of turnovers or anything like that, just good defense to create hard shots.
Yeah, I don't think either team is necessarily shooting it real stellar from the field, but like you mentioned, that has a lot to do to both teams, the way they defend. And
Kolkoff makes both. Fade away from the elbow. Vaughn with another bucket. He's got 5. Down to 20 seconds to play. A foul going to be called against Kiefer, his first personal. Kolkoff, who just went 2 for 2, will go back for 2 more. And if you're Viborg Hurley, you take any chances you can right now to score with the clock stopped, even though it's got a whole quarter to play.
Cut into that lead a little bit and keep yourself within striking distance here as you close out this third quarter. Free throw line is a good spot to do that too. So it's when you're getting to the line, knocking them down is important.
And it's extra rest because you're not playing a lot of guys too. Keeps everybody a little bit rested. Under 10 to play in the quarter. MJ Dean will handle. Top of the key, kick out. 3 on the way, no good for Kiefer. Rebound. Warwick, he'll just hold. Morrison will try to chuck it, but to no avail. 37-32. Number 8 seed Lyman Raiders lead Viborg Hurley in our opening round of the 2026 Class B State Boys Basketball Tournament. We're back with more on FDPB Sports.
Protecting crops. Agronomy Plus in Mitchell, Rock Creek in Howard, and Valley Station at Armour provide agronomy services, fertilizer products, and crop analysis systems, including Agronomy 365. This system helps manage your field's performance, supporting small town communities while hiring and training local youth. Agronomy Plus in Mitchell, Rock Creek in Howard, and Valley Station in Armour, serving area producers and their communities.
Back inside Walks Arena, Brad DeBeer alongside Steve Erickson. And all right, time to put the coaching hat on. 8 minutes to play. Your leading scorer is in foul trouble, not back in yet. How long can you go if it stays 5 to 8 points?
I think you just try to ride it as long as you can here. I mean, your kids have done a good job of keeping it. You know, Lyman has had a couple chances to try to maybe pull away a little bit more, but Vibrant Hurley's answered like some trips to the free throw line. And that being said, here comes Schroedermeyer on the floor right now.
So they did check him back in. I thought he was waiting a little bit. I didn't see him check back in. It's going to be one of those
situations too, where it's like he's going to have to be able to give up some stuff on the defensive end too. So we'll see how Lyman attacks him and
how can you protect him too. That's will you look to change something? We'll find out. They get the ball to start. Morrison for 3. No, too strong. That's a battle right there. There's another. You got to be close. Going to go 2-3 is what they're going to do to try to protect it. So, but Schroedermeyer on top.
And like you mentioned too, Brady's one of those kids that just wants to play hard and make things happen. So it's like, can he not gamble up at the top and stuff either? But
yeah, more 1-2-2 than 2-3 it looks like, or 3-2 if you will, matchup maybe.
Yeah, Schroedermeyer at the point will kind of drop into the paint once the ball goes to a wing. But
and a knockdown jumper. Josiah Vaught.
Vaught's came off the bench and give him some good minutes and some really gets up on his jump shot too. So tough to defend.
Yeah, he's got 7 points in the game. Only 1 field goal for Vibrant Hurley in that third quarter, by the way. The rest was all free throws. Another missed shot, and Lyman will take it the other way.
Shot as much as he was. I think he was trying to look at Schroedermeyer on the back screen. Looked there a little bit, but it's the thing. Vibrant Hurley right now can't panic on the offensive end either. I know you're a little bit of urgency with what you want to do, being down 7, but you still got to work for some good ones and not panic on that end of the floor.
And then you have to rebound at the other end. You just have to defensive rebound right now, not give second chances to Lyman. Playing out of a zone that they're probably not real comfortable playing. They don't probably play it a lot. Foul on Kolthoff on a good take in the paint by Beam.
There's that extra pass that Coach Garnos was talking about at the half too. Vaught had a look at the wing, but one more, and then you get that defense flying at you a little bit more, and Deem attacks to the baseline.
MJ Deem at the free throw line. 72% free throw shooter, gets the first one to go. Deem has 11 in the game. Leads everybody. Second one is good. Vibrant Hurley goes with Van Orsdell. Long 3, Austin. Got it, Jake Austin.
Jake's been big for him all day, so he's going to have to continue too.
He's got 13 points. We talked about who would be the one to step up. Schroedermeyer now grabs it on the run out in the paint, and he'll be fouled on the drive. It'll go to the baseline out of bounds. Foul's called on Vaught. He picks up his third.
Called it way up front before he got into before the gather.
So strong with the basketball. He cupped it, just held everybody off, but they were not going to give him an easy one. Now out of the inbound play. They love that little play, don't they? Let him start with a screen and then dive to the basket.
He just does such a great job of kind of selling that and then just being physical and athletic to attacking the rim.
41-37. So back to a 4-point lead here as we wear the clock down to the immediate timeout at 5 and a hold on the wing. Those are ones that are just killer if you're Viborg Hurley. Pretty good defensive possession, nothing really going on. Clock's down to 8. Now you can really sit in and lock in, and no, you grab an arm and give him a new shot clock. Too strong for Kiefer. That foul, by the way, was called on Austin, his second personal. Viborg Hurley now a chance to cut it. Back to 2, even 1 if they can find one from long distance. And a three-point play will do it for Schroedermeyer. The opportunity comes at the free throw line. The bump, the hang, and got it. Every whistle he's looking. Was it on me?
Well, it's hard for him, too. He plays so physical, like right there. He played off 2 feet going to the rim and hoping they're not going to call some type of offensive foul on him. But great take by Brady to get himself to the basket and to the line.
5:05 to play, and a full timeout going to be taken by Lyman. As we'll come back out to a free throw out of this timeout from Schroedermeyer. Were you able to get the game day stats working?
I could not.
Okay, I was going to say, is it me here, or I'm just trying to get that to work too? We'll go back to a different screen. Again, we got State AA and A just getting out underway. They're a little behind us, obviously. Hour behind out there, so everything will happen. They're probably, 10 minutes into that first one. It's already about 20 after 12 right now here on the east side of the state.
A couple of teams out there, Sioux Falls Lincoln looking to maybe try to cap a perfect season, and same in the A with West Central coming into that one undefeated.
Yeah, I don't know if theirs are up and running yet or not. Let's see if we can find some scores for you. Out of the timeout now, Schroedermeyer will try to make good on the three-point play. As that is in and out. Rebound, offensively up, no good. Kolthoff with the putback and a foul. Basket doesn't go, but he'll go to the free throw line. That's what you talked about. He's that guy that gets a lot of his buckets like that. You call it garbage baskets. I call it work hoops. They gotta get after it.
Well, great job by Van Orsdale to get that first offensive board, and then so what Lyman did really well in that first half and through the third quarter was not give second chances to Viborg Hurley, and right there on a missed free throw, 2 offensive boards.
Kolthoff no good on the first. 41-39, had a chance to tie it. Biggest lead's been 8 points in this game at 35-28. Now it's 41-39. So little run here for Viborg Hurley. Nolan will get the second one. 7 points for Kolthoff, but more importantly, back to 1. As we go to the other end, Fulmer, no good. Rebound, tapped around. Ooh, that's a head to the floor. He's out. Nolan, we're going to have to get somebody out here right now. We're going to throw it to break. We'll take our floater. We're back with more on SDPB.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for all of it. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great. And we're here for all of it. See you at the game.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, opportunity is turned into progress. Through research, education, and a community that inspires, SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're taking action with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
And inside Walks Arena, it's a quiet Walks Arena. Nolan Koltoff in a collision trying to get a takeaway on a pass out top. And you can see it kind of, he's still down on the floor, but we're not going to replay that one. He hit his head pretty hard. So we will wait until hopefully Nolan will be all right here in a little bit. He's trying to gather his bearings, got trainer out there. They're going to see if they can get him to the back with a little help from a couple of bench guys there. They're going to go out and help him.
And Nolan, we talked about him, you know, throughout the broadcast here a little bit too. The how hard that kid plays, just all over the place. And
yeah, and it's too bad we may be actually seeing the last of him, quite honestly, for the tournament as far as on the floor, because when you hit your head like that, it's just tough to come back from. And they're having a tough time on his leg too. Yeah, they're looking at his right leg also, so I don't know if he can put any pressure on that right leg. So it may be a situation where maybe he hit maybe it was his right ankle rather than his head. I thought maybe he got bonked in the head with an elbow, but boy, that right ankle is, not good. Poor kid, feel bad for him for sure. Yeah. And now does Viborg Hurley, are they able to kind of gather themselves after something like that and come back? A lot of times you see these kids, they'll come together.
And we talked about it too in the throughout that third quarter. Who from Viborg Hurley was going to step up with Schroedermeyer on the bench in foul trouble, and Nolan was one of those kids that really kept them in the basketball game too.
And we'll start it with Lyman now back at it. So we will, next dead ball, go to a media timeout. Top of the key, MJ Deem. Deem now. Lost the handle, landed with it's not a travel. Was touched. Three is good! Josiah Vaughn. That young man has come to play off the bench, the 6'3" junior.
Just kind of looking to let it fly when he catches it with an open look, too.
Warwick thought about it. Has it thrown away. Now we'll go to a media timeout. Media timeout, Jared. We'll take our media, and we're back with more. 4:11 to play, 44-41 on SDPB Sports.
For your little ones and your biggest joys. Or your forever friends. And your fur kids, too. For your better half. Or your all-time bestie. For the reasons you smile, there's coverage. With dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of South Dakota and Delta Vision.
I never expected RAGBRAI to be such a community. RAGBRAI, here we go.
We don't leave the ride the same way as we began it.
It's so fun to just have a whole week off, from your life and just get to ride a bike.
Tonight after basketball on SDPB.
And we're back in Walks Arena with 4:11 to play in our final quarter. 44-40, Lyman by 4. Brady Schroedermeyer, the leading scorer for Viborg on the season, 4 fouls, but has been able to stay in this quarter. Nolan Koltoff, if you're just joining us, out of the game with an injury. And it looks like Lyman is good to go with foul trouble. They've got a couple with 3, but that's it. Deem, nice lead. Keeper off the glass and good.
I was just going to say that, too. I think it's probably time where MJ Deem's like, put the ball in my hands, and he's either going to be scoring it or setting up his teammates like he just did to Kiefer.
Austin, guarded by Deem, to the lane with the left hand. What a scoop, no good rebound. Schroedermeyer, he'll miss it. And a foul going to be called on the far side. We got bodies everywhere again. Foul is called on Conway Collins. Now he has 4. He rolled on the ankle of
Yeah, kind of
Gertis.
rolled Gertis up. That did not look good either.
No, Gertis is all right. He's a tough kid, man. Football guy.
Schroedermeyer misses the first.
Second one is up, and no good on that one. Last touch by Lyman. So 2 misses by Schroedermeyer at the free throw line. He's actually missed his last
Refs will get
3.
together on this one.
It doesn't matter. That's not why they changed it.
All the kids.
Yeah.
All
The
the Lyman
replay is
kids
not
are
why
looking
they
up
changed
at
it. So just so you guys know.
Looking up at the big screen.
Yeah. But they did all get together
Great
and they
job
were
by the
changing that.
officials to
Yeah,
come
for sure.
together.
Viborg early couldn't say no. It was pretty obvious. Yeah, got to let him land. That's why it's not a charge. He's in the air as he takes off. You see it.
If he lets him land, I think it might be a travel. Because I think he hopped after he caught it.
I think so too. Foul was called on number 11, Van Orsdel. Just his first. Conway Collins stripped away by Schroedermeyer. Braden Morrison calling for Jake Austin to come get it. Austin's like, what do you want me to do? This guy's guarding me right now. A lot of screens at the top. They get that 3 out of that a lot, but good defense by Lyman. Conway Collins just totally face guarding Schroedermeyer right now. Austin on the drive on the backside. Conway Collins had no idea there was a basket being shot because he's doing what coach told him to do and guard Schroedermeyer without helping out. MJ Dean picks up his 3rd personal. 2:39 to play. We got 3 timeouts for each team. Possession arrow favors the Cougars right now. Austin makes good on the first. Beautiful day outside, they tell me, but might even be nicer in here. What a great crowd for our opening round.
It's one of the good things with Class B. I think you're going to see great crowds throughout the weekend. And the weather looks a little bit better than the end of the girls' state tournaments last weekend. So
we made it through, though. Everybody got home, no problem. So
maybe a day or 2 later than they thought. But
a couple. 46-42. Approaching the 2-minute mark with 2:20 to play. 3 on the way. No good for Garnos. Schroedermeyer now wants to go to the baseline. Triple team kick out. Jake Austin. Warwick looking inside. Swing it to Jake Austin through the hands, out of bounds. That one was hot.
Trying to get Schroedermeyer isolated in the post. And
Lyman basketball, under 2 minutes to play now in our opening game of the 2026 Class B Boys State Basketball Tournament.
Here's one of those possessions that Coach Garnos talked to you about at halftime. It's not, Lyman doesn't want to necessarily take the air out of the ball, but quality possession right here, being up 4 with
traveling. Not what you want. And I was just going to say, I think you'd rather take a shot clock violation in that instance with a 4-point lead than something silly and turn it over, right? And especially to give it on the other way, but now you can at least get your defense.
I thought Dean maybe was going to let that fly too. It wouldn't have been a bad look. But
Gertis will give to Schroedermeyer. Schroedermeyer will bring it up against Collins. Both of them with 4 fouls apiece. Under a minute and a half to play now. 2-possession game. Gertis flip it. Austin. Oh, good fake. Austin's about stepped under his legs. Morrison. Back to Austin. Good switching defense by Lyman right now. Warwick off the glass. Too strong. And that 3-point attempt. No arch, kind of line drive on that shot. Again, we'll catch up with the winning head coach at the conclusion of this one before we go to break. And Coach Garnos wants a timeout. And it'll take him down to 2. What's he want, a full or a 30? I think he wants full. He does.
Yeah, full timeout.
So as we reset things a little bit, 46-42 with 57.4 to play. Viborg Hurley will have the possession arrow in their favor, but it'll be Lyman ball obviously coming out of this timeout. Both teams will shoot free throws on any foul the rest of the game, the last minute here, so we will see.
Yeah, 57 seconds left. It's one of those where down 4 if you're Viborg Hurley. Seems like you need to hurry and get something right away, but it's not something you necessarily want to force. I mean, you got time. Like you had mentioned earlier too, they got sets and coach is drawing something up over there. But back to what Garno said too, for Lyman, this is a quality possession of quality possessions right here. If you're Lyman, you want to come away with points, or at the very minimum, like you talked about, run that baby down as far as they can get.
Reversal of emotions for the Lyman fans right now after last weekend, where Lyman came in on the girls' side as the #1 seed, were knocked off by Corsica Stickney. Now their team, with under a minute to play in the game, leads by 4, has a chance to make it a 6-point lead with their best free throw shooter at the free throw line. MJ Deem has 12 points in the game, and he's going to get 2 chances to add to that total. Viborg Hurley, they're going to put a little longer player out here on Morrison, make him have to shoot over. I think they're going to put Vod on him, and Braden Morrison's a guy that can really get hot. You talked about that early.
They doesn't need a lot of room to get a shot off either. So but Lyman did a great job last possession of switching and getting those guys covered up.
Deem, we're ready for a second. Get that one. 5-point game, so still 2 possessions, 47-42. Viborg Hurley's got to be a little bit urgent. Bucket, probably a timeout, right? Got 3 to use. Austin for 3, left it short. Schroedermeyer up and in. They're going to play it out. No timeout. I thought he would use it in that situation. But instead, Garnos has to use it because they can't get the ball inbounded.
Well, Dean fell down on the baseline. I think it was Dean or Collins. One of them fell down.
Dean, yeah, he was
primary. Yeah, it was the guy you want the ball in his hands is laying on the ground, and Coach Garnos takes a timeout to.
And yeah, 3 timeout. I thought I looked at it wrong the first time, but yeah, Viborg Hurley has 3 left. Now, Lyman down to just 1 remaining timeout. So, again, going to have to figure out a way to get a stop quickly here if you are Viborg Hurley. Setting up your play right now, maybe.
Yeah, well, and I think it's one of those situations where you saw him foul early last possession, so they're going to try to get a steal or a trap right away maybe, and then you're coming back to putting them on the line and trying to extend the game a little bit.
If you're Lyman, you don't got to shoot it.
Yep, nope. And there's one guy you probably want the ball in his hands right now, so.
We'll take
but I would venture
free throws or layups.
And I would venture to guess that Viborg.
So Deem was going to take off running. I don't know what the whistle stopped.
Certain guys at Viborg wants to catch the basketball and get fouled right away too.
Deem almost got through that. The foul will be called instead on number 11, Lincoln Van Oerstel.
Hard kid to get a trap set on too, as quick as he is.
So Deem, with 1 free throw, will get it back to 2 possessions. First one is up, and that's good. So that's the big one. Will we see number 1 go down 2 weekends in a row in Class B state tournament action? 30.7 seconds to play. Second one is good. Viborg Hurley now going to bring it up with Austin. They probably already have their play called. Skip it. Austin 3. No. Rebound, saved, but missing everybody, and a timeout. That'll go in. Absolutely no doubt that was going in.
Yeah.
Because Coach Warwick called timeout before he shot it.
And great look. They ran that fade set that they ran quite a bit. You know, Schroedermeyer sets that high fade screen, and Austin got a great look at it from here. It looked like it was going down right away. But
and then if you're lineman, you don't want to just save it under their team's basket, so you fire it as hard as you can at the ground trying to hit somebody, and everybody opened up like it was partying the Red Sea.
Yeah.
There's Austin waiting for it. That is honestly, that's a coach's nightmare sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know I find myself like, should I call? And then you do, and then they hit it. Like, no.
That's the one where you don't want the ref to see until after the.
You still want it? No. I said 5, not time.
Yeah.
Baseball pass across. 3 on the way. Morrison, no. Chased, saved. Morrison with 12. 3 on the way. No, too strong. Rebound, kick out. Austin, 3, blocked. 3 again for Austin with 5 to play. No. And number 8 will take down number 1. And with that being said, I'll make my way to the end line.
Yeah, great job by Lyman. They came in and executed their game plan throughout. You know, Viber Curley being the number 1 seed was going to not go away. They got down by 7 or 8 there in the third quarter and continued to battle and fight through it. Just a great job by both teams to open up this Class B state tournament, but impressed with the way Lyman came in with their game plan and executed for 4 quarters to close that one out.
Yeah, give Lyman credit in that. The defensive job that they did to put themselves in position to win, I think, is what is such a huge thing here. And that's what they did. Everything they needed to do late in this game, they were able to do because of that defense early.
Well, you know, there's the old saying that defense travels, and they brought that to Aberdeen, and defense and rebounding really, I think, you'll hear Coach Garnos talk about that when you get to visit with him here, but he'll hang his hat on their defense and rebounding, and is what won them this basketball game, and made enough shots down the stretch to walk away with this one. And
Coach Garnos, I think he's taking his time on purpose. He knows he's got to go back on TV
well,
again.
He's just he's enjoying it. You can tell, taking that deep breath.
He's just enjoying the walk.
Oh,
baby.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the walk, my friend. Congratulations to you. A 8 seed over a 1 last week. Your girls experienced the other end of it. But you guys came out, that defensive job you did put you in a position to win the second half.
Well, first of all, thanks to the man upstairs. Second of all, I am super friends with Shane Warwick. You know, I love that guy to death. He's one of the best coaches in the business. He has great teams, but I just want to tip my hat to Shane and Viber Curley. Defense was a huge factor. It was one of the things that we got better at all year, and I know at this level you have to display that incredible, great ball pressure where you just don't give them anything free. No passes, no shots, and that's what we tried to do. And, you know, credit to our kids. It's a resilient group. It's a neat group of guys.
Bunch of guys that were able to play last year, got some experience. That showed late in this game.
I certainly believe that. Last year we come up here, we got 8th place, we got the experience. Most of these guys were on that team last year. And I think that is always the key. When we walked in yesterday to what we call the best practices of the year, you can relate to that, right? That one the day before you start playing ball, doesn't get any better than that. It was different walking in here. Those guys were, it was shiny and new, but we'd seen it before. So I think that did help.
Appreciate the time. Congratulations. Best of luck to you tomorrow in the championship semifinals.
And we might need you to come in and help us.
Okay, I'll be in. Give me a holler, buddy. Give me a holler. Cooper Garnos always got something. We'll take a break. We're back with more. It's Class B Boys Basketball State Tournament action on SD/PB Sports.
You kept us fed through tough times. And despite rising business costs, you keep doing what you love because you know you're making a difference. No matter the challenges, we're here to help you navigate the highs and lows to grow your business, to improve your land, or to buy new equipment. We all rely on you, and we're just happy to return the favor. Go with Allies. Go with trust. Go with Dakota Bank.
Don't be fooled by that beat-up old cap. Its faded crown represents the tireless work of America's farmers and ranchers. Its sturdy brim, their dedication to providing our nation with a safe, affordable food source. From sunup to sundown, they're turning quarters into the dollars that drive our rural economy. So we'd like to tip our hat to them. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting those that protect America's food source.
Lake Area Technical College provides hands-on learning and practical experience in real-world environments. Prepare for a career right out of school from the moment you step on campus for an education that can really be put to work. Lake Area Tech is the start of something new.
I never expected RAGBRAI to be such a community. RAGBRAI, here we go.
We don't leave the ride the same way as we began it.
It's so fun to just have a whole week off, from your life and just get to ride a bike.
Tonight after basketball on SDPB.
Well, the 8 has beaten the 1 in Class B Boys State Basketball Tournament action. You can't tell me the Sodak 16 doesn't work because these are 8 good teams. And again, Coach Warwick told me beforehand, he said, I love our position. I love where we're at here. I just don't know if we're the best team here. He said, so we got to have to come out and prove some stuff. Well, Lyman was ready today, and they took care of business, Steve.
Well, I think that's one of those basketball games, and I think you're going to see it all tournament long, but I think that was a prime example. You can throw the seeds out the windows.
Yeah.
You're going to look at teams, and you have Lyman and Viborg come back, Viborg-Hurley come back and play again tomorrow, and for the next 10 days straight, you're probably going to get 5 wins for each of them. So it's very evenly matched, and you saw that play out.
There you see some highlights from that first half. MJ Deem and the answer there from Jake Austin. The 2 point guards really tried to control this with Schroedermeyer for Viborg-Hurley being in foul trouble. Somebody had to pick it up, and Lyman, man, just spread the wealth. I'd say the X Factor, the MVP coming in off the bench. There you see him, Josiah Vaughn. Just some big shots for that young man. You talked about how he gets up off the floor with that true jump shot. There's a long 3 for him, and that kind of ignited them. Schroedermeyer got a couple putbacks, but he really never got going offensively doing Brady Schroedermeyer things. He got putbacks. He got just things that just happened throughout the game rather than controlling it.
Got a few down the stretch when they were, but then it became time to, they could concentrate on him a little bit more, knowing he was playing a little more tentative than normally he probably would. But yeah, hats off to MJ Deem, 15 points and 7 rebounds. Just a great effort by Lyman, and like Cooper said, hats off to Viborg-Hurley too for a gutting performance from those kids.
You bet. We'll take a break, come back, and get you set and ready for Castlewood Aberdeen Christian when we return on SDPB.
Educators across South Dakota are coming together to elevate, educate, and empower. This June, the Department of Education hosts the South Dakota Literacy Conference in Mitchell, a gathering dedicated to advancing the science of reading and sharing new insights into how students learn, exploring research and real-world strategies for South Dakota educators to move literacy forward for all learners. South Dakota Department of Education, learning, leadership, service.
You hear about work-life balance like it's a big equation you have to find the answer to. But I think it's much simpler than that. So simple it was right in front of us. Start with the life you want, and everything else will follow.
Are Peterson reps real-life seed heroes? Well, they've been known to go the extra mile. Literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson, we're that kind of seed company.
Welcome back to Wax Arena. Hey, this season a young gal for Dual High School wore multiple hats when it came to basketball. Camden Peterines, a junior for the Cardinals, spends most doubleheaders playing varsity on the girls' squad, then jumps up to the announcer booth to help with the call for the boys' game. She's a true dual threat.
Camden Peterines was born to be a basketball player.
I love the game of basketball, honestly, for the love of the game. Ever since I was little, it's kind of just been like a family thing. So that's been really cool, sharing that opportunity with my dad and my grandpa also before, just kind of been a big basketball family, and just playing is something I really enjoy.
Her joy of the game of basketball doesn't just fall to her playing on the court.
Peterines, she's up to 4 points on the night.
It also includes calling the action as a play-by-play announcer for the Dual Cardinals.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Cardinal Gymnasium. Tonight, your Dual Cardinals are taking on the Sioux Valley Cossacks.
So Mr. Mack asked me to announce, it was a C volleyball game, I believe, my freshman year. And it was a cool opportunity, and I kind of, was a little lax, but last year I really started getting big into announcing, going up after my games. It's just something that flowed naturally for me. I got up there, put on the mic, and I just kind of didn't really think about anything, just said what was happening, and it came really naturally because I know a lot of the players on the court and from the opposing teams as well.
Winter attacks, and he wants the jumper, and that's going to roll right in, putting the Cardinals on the board here tonight.
Camden she seems like she's naturally gifted in about anything that I've seen her do, whether it be academically, but especially I would say communication is where her foundation really is. She has a great knowledge of basketball, and she's confident. And that's a big part of being an announcer, is being confident and trusting your instincts.
Over to Rusink, down low, nice pass, and one finish. Nice pass there by Rusink, and Sapp is just able to finish those.
With vast majority of Dual Cardinal games being doubleheaders, Camden has a busy schedule on game days.
I get through the school day, and then after the game, go into the gym, and I watch the JV girls, kind of, prepping, cheering for them, sitting on the bench, helping them out. And then after that, during the JV boys, kind of gets ready for the varsity game, because a lot of our games are double headers. So that's kind of the time to prepare, get dressed, and then start shooting in the other gym, just trying to get in the right mindset. And then obviously gonna play the varsity game. And then after that, it's a talk in the locker room, and then it's a pretty quick change to get up and get on the call and start with the starting lineups.
That is if Camden's head coach, her dad John, gets her out the door on time.
We're honestly so into the game that, we want to make sure we have closure to the game itself. If it was a win, we're celebrating. If it was a loss, we're learning. And I honestly have to be reminded that, hey, it's time to come up to the booth, because I do get kind of wrapped up into the game itself.
Or with a microphone, you can bet Camden is going to be around the game of basketball.
The opportunity for me to almost share my gift with others and have other people, be able to listen, because I know I really enjoy listening to basketball more than watching it without sound, is something that's really cool, and I'm glad that I'm able to share that with others.
Make sure to tune in to Cardinals Live, and we'll catch you next time.
Bank West is rooted in South Dakota. Committed to local success. Just like you. We're all connected. In South Dakota for South Dakota. Convenient, connected, committed. Bank West.
Creating a legacy means different things to everyone. For us, it's about family, watching my daughter follow in my footsteps, passing the farm onto her, and working side by side every day. It's about building something that lasts. Agtegra Cooperative has been by our side through it all, supporting us from one generation to the next. Agtegra Cooperative, legacy rich, future focused for generations to come.
Powering the possibilities of tomorrow starts today. For our homes, our farms, our businesses. That's why our Touchstone Energy Cooperative continually plans for the future by utilizing and sourcing safe, reliable power for the next generation. So we can power possibilities long into the future. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, powering possibilities.
From inside Wax Arena, the story that you just heard with Camden Peter Imes from Dual, part of this year's Tales from the Hardwood show. To see the full show, visit sdpb.org/basketball. Again, sdpb.org/basketball, and you'll find Tales from the Hardwood. We've got a lot of different stories there. Nate Weck and the crew, such a fantastic job with that show, so make sure you check those out. Let's take a look at our 4 versus our 5 in this one. The Castlewood Warriors, the Aberdeen Christian Knights. We'll start with our 5 seed at 20-3. The Castlewood Warriors out of Hamlin County, Castlewood, South Dakota. Paul Rosh, the head coach, 77. The enrollment, again, that's grades 9 through 11. Royal blue and gold, the school colors. Minnesota Rouser is the school song. They defeated James Valley Christian, and then a tight 2-point win over a really good Wessington Springs team to advance to the Sodak 16, and then a 26-point win over Timberlake in that Sodak 16 to find this first-round matchup with Aberdeen Christian. Take a look at their starting lineup. 6'3" junior Camden Kessler, 6'5" senior Brody Bass, the 6'2" senior Tyson Manley, the 6'6" senior Leonard Wernke, and their kind of burst on the scene guy this year at 6'5", the sophomore Will Adderhold. I don't know what jump program he went on over the summer, but you'll see he's a high flyer, and he comes out of nowhere for rebounds and putbacks a lot of times. You saw them firsthand this year.
Yeah, we got Castlewood first game of the year out of the gate, and you know, they missing a 6'10" kid from last year, Brian Lowy, but brought back a lot of size between Wernke and Bass, and you said Adderhold, but then even their guards, Kessler and stuff, are long and a lot of size, and play to that, to their strengths.
But by the way, Lowy's not missing anymore. I saw him in the building, so they found him, so he's back. Aberdeen Christian, the 4 seed at 20-3, right out of Aberdeen, South Dakota, Brown County. Matt Rohrbach, the head coach, 64 students, maroon, silver, and white. On Wisconsin is the school song. How about how they got to this point? Well, a win over Waverly South Shore, a win over Warner, a 5-point victory, and then the Sodak 16 game, a 15-point victory over an upstart Sioux Falls Lutheran team. Jet Johnson, the 6'2" senior, Dylan Hofer, a 5'8" junior, Grady Jett, the 6'4" senior, Luke Kaiser, a 6'4" junior, and Brooks Jett, a 6'5" junior, will be their 5 starters here for Aberdeen Christian and the Knights. Again, another team you just end up not hearing a ton about. Aberdeen Christian, they don't play in a lot of classics. See, if you don't come north, you don't see them much, and then here they are again.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, I think 6 years in a row or so at state tournament, so an experienced group, and guys that we talked about last year that led them here to the tournament last year, and you heard Coach Garnos talk about it. maybe the lights aren't as bright this year, and we'll see how they come out and respond in this one.
We'll turn it over to public address announcer Kent Hansen.
Good afternoon. The City of Aberdeen, Aberdeen Central High School, and Northern State University, and the South Dakota High School Activities Association, along with its corporate partners, Sanford Health, Dakota Bank, Farmers Union Insurance, Billion Automotive, and the South Dakota Army National Guard welcome you to the second game of the opening session of the 2026 State B Boys High School Tournament. This tournament is being conducted under the guidance and regulation of the South Dakota High School Activities Association for the enjoyment and benefit of high school students. Good sportsmanship is essential for the success of these programs. We hope you will enjoy the games and support your athletes in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. Let's meet today's officials. First, our junior officials from Castlewood, Hope and Harper Reese. And from Aberdeen Christian, Egan Conrad. The assigned officials for today's game are referee Kevin Ball, umpire Jeremy Michelson, umpire Lee Johnson, and alternate official Andrew Warner. Let's meet the cheerleaders from Castlewood.
Did we get that?
Carly Culpepper. Emily Jensen. Malaya Mickelson. Gabby Rausch. Gracie Reese. Abby Tacroni. And Sloan Thu. The Warriors are coached by Jeff Sakic and Ryder Johnson. Head coach of the Castlewood Warriors is Paul Rausch. Aberdeen Christian is coached by Jared Becker and Khalil Bolden. The head coach of the Aberdeen Christian Knights is Matt Rohrbach. Let's meet today's starters. First, for the Castlewood Warriors at a guard, 6'3" junior number 0, Camden Kessler. And for the Knights, 6'2" senior number 0, Jet Johnson. At a forward for the Warriors, 6'5" senior number 4, Brody Bass. And for the Knights, 5'8" junior number 1, Dylan Hoper. At a forward for the Warriors, 6'2" senior number 5, Tyson Manley. And for the Knights, 6'4" senior number 2, Grady Jett. In the middle for the Warriors, 6'6" senior number 15, Leonard Wernke. And for the Knights, 6'4" junior number 3, Luke Kaiser. And in the middle, 6'5" sophomore number 32, Will Alderhold. And for the Knights, 6'5" junior number 4, Brooks Jones. Today's lineups are brought to you by Channel Seed. Warrior fans, are you ready? Knight fans, are you ready? Today's fan sections are brought to you by the University of South Dakota. Let's play ball!
And we're go inside Walks Arena for game number 2 of this 2026 State Boys Class B basketball tournament. Kevin Ball, Jeremy Michelson, and of course, the ABW himself, Lee Johnson, the old man of the crew out there today. Quickly the other way. Jet Johnson chases it down, and Aberdeen Christian will look to start.
Castlewood, man-to-man, started up.
We talked about Brooks Jett a little bit earlier. He has put on a little pound, a little weight too, like muscle up in the shoulders. Look at him. Last year he was about the same height, 6'5", but a little thinner. Now it'll be interesting to watch this battle with he and Werke. Werke's a big tight end in football.
Yep. Good athletes all over the floor here.
Shot clock violation. That's a defensive stop for Castlewood to get this thing going.
Castlewood's length, they just take away driving lanes, and when you do get in there, there's so much size at the rim to try to finish over and through. So
I remember when Brody Bass was one of their bigger guys outside of Lowry. He's still third. He swings it to the right wing. Kessler can't come up with it. Manley was supposed to come set a screen, I think, according to the reaction from Brody Bass anyway. Blocked at the other end. Manley will push it out. One-on-one. Down the left side. Up with the right hand and in. Tyson Manley. And here's another one when you throw seeds out, 5 versus 4. We could have all the lower seeds in this first afternoon session. We could have both of them move on.
Yeah, and parity throughout, 1 through 8. Talked about it. Who's going to play their best 3 games in a row?
Brooks Jett with the 3. So the 6'5" junior steps out and knocks down the triple. 6:26 to play in our opening quarter.
Yeah, Manley's one of those kids that off the bench a little bit for Castlewood last year, but really stepped into a starter's role. And
Manley for 3, but that one off the rim caught the bottom of the score clock on top of the backboard. And go the other way. Kaiser will give off to Dylan Hofer, who will play the point guard. Dylan Hofer, 9.8 points a game, the 5'8" junior, 5.5 rebounds too.
He's another kid, if you remember him from last year too, was one of those smaller guards in the tournament, but crazy amount of steals from him too, and just puts that ball pressure on to help get their defense set.
Luke Kaiser at the other end, just scoring on a backdoor cut. And then Camden Kessler just nonchalantly steps out and knocks one down. 5-4 Aberdeen Christian. Luke Kaiser looking for another back cut, gets a back screen for Brooks Jett. Hofer quickly on the dive across the lane. 3 players have scored for Aberdeen Christian. They're up 7-4.
Just good ball movement by Aberdeen Christian too, and then they catch him on a back screen there.
Kessler lost the handle on it. Hofer comes away with it. We're just 3 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. And we're going to have a foul call. We'll go to a media once we get the foul issued, I believe. We got to wait and see that they see us. Thank you. We've got the full timeout, media timeout, 7-4 our score. 4:59 to play on SDPB Sports.
As much as you have accomplished, there are times you'd rather not go it alone. While you determine what direction you go, we're here to help along the way. So go. Go with community. Go with neighbors. Go with understanding. Go with support.
From Walks Arena, back inside the Barnett Center, I'm Brad DeBeer, alongside Steve Erickson, and we are ready to go here to inbound. Jeremy Michelson will inbound on the baseline, and Aberdeen Christian. There was a foul called, and I wasn't sure if there was a foul on that or not. The foul was called on Tyson Manley.
Castlewood settles into their 2-3 now, which you'll see them pressure really good up top with their guards with the size they have on that bottom row.
Everson checked in for Manley after that foul, by the way. It'll be Castlewood basketball, so Trevor Everson comes, and you know what his job is to do? Defend. Get out there, get loose balls, get those 50-50 balls, and pressure the guards.
What I think gives them more of maybe a true point guard type player too, and you'll see Kessler handle that role for them a ton, and Cam's more of a scoring guard, and Trevor, the guy is just going to get him into stuff. And
Bass for three, top of the key, got it. Brody Bass. For 2 years in a row, we've called him the X Factor. He's no longer hidden. Everybody knows who he is now.
Yeah, there's no sneaking him into the corner for wide open threes anymore. So
Wernke with the takeaway. Fire it out to Kessler. Kessler on the run out, one-on-one, up off the glass with the left hand. Good. Really good decision. Brooks Jett knows I'm getting foul trouble. Just let him go. I'm not going to block that shot anyway. Kessler does such a good job with his body drawing contact, though.
Just a strong physical kid, too, that can finish through that stuff.
Looking to go play a little college football after graduation next year. Of course, he's only a junior. There's the up from Adderhold. On the run out, Everson in traffic. Has it blocked. Kessler comes up with it right baseline. Now Everson to Adderhold. Back out. Kessler for three. Right wing. No. The rebound ripped out of there by Luke Kaiser. Dylan Hofer will bring it in front of the Castlewood bench, then to the top of the key. Brooks Jett three. In and out. No good. Rebound Bass.
Brooks, one of those kids, too, that likes to hang around the perimeter a little bit. Not that he can't play with his back to the basket, but very good three-point shooter for Aberdeen Christian, too. Hofer just seems like he wants to push the tempo for Aberdeen Christian all the time, too. He's like, let's go, guys. Let's get going here.
I remember talking about him last year. That's how he played. He was that little energizer guy out there. Jett Johnson, no good. Rebound, Brooks Jett. Tipped away by Adderhold, but saved by the Knights. Hofer in the lane. Up off the glass and good. That's a tough shot right there for Grady Jett. And it's 9-9. Coach Schrosch wants to talk about it. There you take a look. Hofer cups it. Finds Grady Jett in the middle, then up and over Adderhold. That's a tougher shot than it looks like because Adderhold gets up quick.
And runs from both teams to start it. Aberdeen Christian jumped out right away. Castlewood, after the media timeout, comes back and a couple quick ones right away. And then, kind of like that first game, I think you'll see both teams kind of settle into what they want to do. And
two relatively unknowns to each other. You know what I mean? They just don't know each other really. So, what was I going to talk about? Oh, Adderhold. Thanks for the note, by the way, Dave Kohlberg. Dave sent me a note that his sister is Will's grandma, so that's her grandson. Anyway, he got his hops from Dave, says Dave. I don't know. I'm not sure S-Line Arena could hold you with your hops. Goldberg. Anyway, thanks for having us on too, by the way. Bass. Way out high. Picks up the dribble. 5-second call or count started, but it was close. Everson, and you're gonna have a player control foul, little forearm shiver to create some space. So Everson and Manley both have a foul in this first quarter, and they'll replace each other.
Well, that's just showing Dylan Hofer again, just that on-ball defense and being able to move your feet and stay in front. Everson just tried to play through him and then gets called for it.
Wernke with the takeaway. Leonard on the run out. Has it go off of Brooks Jett, has it, or tips it away, then has it go off of his legs while standing out of bounds. Leonard Wernke knows where the weight room is in Castlewood, by the way. That guy's got some shoulders.
Yeah.
He's a man on the football field. Into the game, Loyal Smith-Wade. And that highlight package you saw at the beginning, that was him with the dunk for Aberdeen Christian. What, list him at 6'2"?
Yep.
Not a freshman, though, as it said, right? We figured that out. Is that what we figured?
Yeah.
Ball thrown away. They had him listed as a freshman on one of the rosters.
Yeah. Eichler that time just
No,
he is.
He's on both as a freshman. They fixed the other ones that they had listed as freshmen. So that's a little bit more impressive.
Yeah.
Kessler. A lot of contact. Kessler will hop back up. Kevin Ball will report the foul on number 3. Luke Kaiser, his first personal.
A couple guys defended it really well. And then the third guy, Kaiser, comes over, just kind of gets enough of Kessler for the foul.
Kessler too strong on the first one. Tied at 9 apiece, 1:20 to play in our opening quarter. Wernke will come out. Manley, Everson, Kessler, Adderhold, and Bass. And in during that break for Aberdeen Christian was number 15, Charles Eichler. Another freshman. They list him at 6-foot freshman. Hofer. Give up to Smith-Wade. Kick out. Ooh.
Might have been.
It was real close. Loses the handle regardless. Kaiser trying to go one-on-one down there with Kessler. Loses it out of bounds. Subs will come back in. In will be Grady Jett, or excuse me, Jett Johnson. And also Grady Jett did come back in, so. They didn't quite get to the X.
Yeah,
I think. I'm like, why did they go back over?
First guy did, but yeah.
Second guy
Mr.
did.
Johnson called him back to make sure he checked in.
Blocked and off and running is Aberdeen Christian. Hofer wants to go. He's got to wait for everybody else.
Job by Aberdeen Christian last time, that rotation over to just get a piece of that layup from Kessler. Castle will settle back into their 2-3 and
Hofer, Loyal Smith-Wade, the guards out front. Down the lane, Hofer loses the handle, kick out. Brooks Jett will let it fly at the buzzer. Got it! As the shot clock and game clock run out, Brooks Jett knocks down the 3. He hit 2 of them in that quarter. He's got 6, and it's 12-10 Aberdeen Christian. Back with more on SD PB Sports.
it's not just about making a living. It's about upholding a way of life. We are connected to this land, committed to the future. Bank West.
Reading opens every door to learning, opportunity, and understanding. The South Dakota Department of Education is strengthening literacy outcomes for students across our state, helping educators connect classroom instruction to the science of how children learn to read and write. Through professional support and shared resources, schools are building strong foundation in literacy for every learner. South Dakota Department of Education, learning, leadership, service.
As we roll back into our second quarter, here's that last second shot. You see the red on the scoreboard and the shot clock, and bang. Brooks Jett knocks down 3 from the baseline. Loyal Smith Wade crossover there and called carry. Picked it up. Yeah.
Picked it up and brought it down with the other hand.
Coaching staff wasn't sure. It was quick, there's no doubt about it, but he a little extra. When you get by somebody doing that, they're going to call it when you get an advantage. Do it around up top of the key and don't go anywhere. Nobody cares. In the paint, Adderhole, or rather Wernke, missed it short. They'll go the other direction.
Just can't quite gather the basketball, and he's going up with it like he never had control of it as he was shooting it. Great drive and dish from Kessler.
Brooks Jett. Really facing up to the basket on this 5-out offense. He wants to shoot that jumper instead of getting inside, but against the size of Castlewood, it ain't easy. Kessler takes it to the rack. Adderhold was setting up on this other side for an alley-oop, but Cam Kessler changed gears there and took it right to the hole. That's what Kessler does. You watch him run up and down the court. He doesn't seem like he's going to outrun anybody necessarily until he throws it into a different gear at the hoop, and then that quickness.
Just change of speed, and that makes you, on the basketball floor, is really, really important.
And now Kessler says, I got to get us started here. It's 15-12. Cam with the 3. The youngest of 3 Kessler boys that have played in state tournaments. 1 at Hamlin, 2 here at Castlewood. The oldest at Hamlin, same year that the other 2 got to play here a couple of years ago. On the run, Wernke, too strong. Adderhold was there, but didn't finish it. Foul going to be whistled.
It's one of the impressive things with Castlewood too, with their size, with their bigs. They can all run the floor really well, and not that they're a up and down the floor transition team, but when they got opportunities to run, they'll take them, and their bigs can fill. And that was one of their highlights. You saw it was Kessler off the backboard for a dunk in their Sodak 16 game.
Wernke, second shot from the free throw line is up and too strong once again. Bass tried to keep it alive, but Aberdeen Christian controls. Trailing by 3, the Knights will bring it into the front court. Handoff, Brooks Jett. Swing it. Smith Wade, 3 from the left hand, no good. Tip up and in. That is a great tip by Grady Jett.
It's almost more than a tip. Almost caught it and had to.
Yeah, it's turned all the way around with it.
In the same.
Kessler the other way with the left hand. Cam's had that. He has that ability. He's done that numerous times where he just kind of takes over a game in spurts for his team. Now here, you're going to have to do it a lot longer because this is higher level probably than during the season. But
well, and even more so this year, I think you saw his game evolve. Like the last couple years, he's been the guy that just was going to defend and rebound and do the little things, and now being that guy they look to score the basketball more.
Bass, left baseline. Wernke in the paint. Step through, missed it underneath. Now we'll go the other way. And a foul going to be called on Kessler. Tried to pat that away from behind. And he'll be whistled with it. We'll go to the media timeout. With that foul called and the media timeout. We're back in a moment. 17-14 on SDPB Sports.
Powering the possibilities of tomorrow starts today. For our homes, our farms, our businesses. That's why our Touchstone Energy Cooperative continually plans for the future by utilizing and sourcing safe, reliable power for the next generation. So we can power possibilities long into the future. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, powering possibilities.
Back inside Wax Arena. Just a reminder, you can follow SDPB Sports on your mobile device all season long, all weekend long. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be sure to browse all our action and award-winning photos by searching SDPB on Flickr. Tell us where you're watching from, read some of our great stories, and enjoy videos featuring the teams, kids, and coaches of South Dakota. As we come back to action, 17-14 our score, under 5 to play here in the second quarter. We'll talk with the coach of the leading team as we head into halftime here in a little bit. Right baseline, up and good for 3, Jet Johnson.
Good patience from Aberdeen Christian against the 2-3 of Castlewood, and finding a shooter in the corner.
Down the lane, Kessler gets loose with the left hand again. 13 on the game for Kessler. Excuse me, 14 on the game for Kessler. Hofer off the bounce. Bass will guard Jet. Brooks Jet 3, no good. Right side. Cam Kessler will rebound. Crossover again to the left hand. And there's Adderhold with the putback. First basket of the game for Adderhold. Averages 10.3 points, 7 rebounds a game. Up and good for Kaiser. A couple of flybys, and he's able to finish under the hoop. Kaiser's got 4.
Yeah, just a good job of the patience after the catch to
back in for Castlewood will be Wernke. Out will go Manley. 21-19, so Coach Rosh continues to just roll people through a little bit.
And they don't go real deep. Kind of the one, maybe the second guy off the bench, but
usually it's one guy and they just keep different person comes in for somebody else. Outside of Kessler has not left the floor yet. Up and in on the reverse by Luke Kaiser. Here you'll see it. Take it to the left hand, then reverse it to the right hand underneath.
Impressive.
Adderhold with the foul. Nope, they actually give that to Bass. So Brody's going to pick up his first. And a timeout whistle. 21-21, 32nd timeout.
Great drive by Kaiser, though, and to finish on the, kind of using the rim as help to keep the shot blockers away and able to finish with some English.
Yep, still unable to look into that during the break. We're still unable to get live stats to pop in. I'm not sure if something's not hooked up or what. I see we had the score of the last game finally came in. How are things in the other two state tournaments?
Yeah, games rolling out in Rapid City in the Class A tournament. Sioux Falls Christian 82, St. Thomas More 59. And then in the AA tournament, it's in Rapid as well. Sioux Falls Lincoln is leading T area 39-30. About a minute left in the third.
Again, the AA being played in the Ice Arena inside the Convention Center there. And then, of course, the Monument is the host to the Class A. As the three-point play is completed by Luke Kaiser. Kaiser has got 7 all of a sudden. He's got 5 in this quarter. Too strong in the putback by Warnke. Kessler missed it long. Collision at the lane.
Yeah.
3 on the way. Kaiser, no. Jet Johnson battling the bigs and comes away with it. Pull up 3 in the corner.
Johnson's hit some big ones for him there. That corner.
Dylan Hofer with the takeaway on Everson. And the layup is good. 27-23.
Hofer kind of making his impact felt there on the defensive end too. But
Kessler down the lane, kick it out. Adderhold, no good. Rebound taken out by Smith Wade. Bass got tripped up at half court. Jet Johnson launches a 3 and knocks it down. He's got 3 threes in the quarter, and it's 30-23 Aberdeen Christian. Take a look at that second one. Deep on the right wing. Aberdeen Christian fans on their feet. The bench greets Jet Johnson coming to the bench.
And one thing Aberdeen Christian's done a really good job is when Castlewood has missed shots down here, they've done a great job of getting them blocked out and rebounding so that Christian can come the other way on offense. So it's a lot of teams have problems with that. With Castlewood, is kind of trying to control the glass or hold your own on the glass. And Aberdeen Christian's got a little bit of length and size that they can hang with those guys a little bit.
We better give a quick shout for what, 19 years in a row or 20 years in a row. This was like White River North, right? Is that what they called this a lot? Well, the pre-Celt class, the 5th period pre-Celt class in White River is watching the Bees right now. So shout out to White River High School and 5th period pre-Celt class. I can't even say it, let alone study it. Are you kidding me? Good luck to you guys back there. Thanks for having us on. 30-23, 1:34 to play. Approaching halftime. Yeah, it has gone fast.
Not many fouls either way. And
we're going to try to catch up with what would be Coach Rohrbach right now as they lead going into halftime. Taken away. Loyal Smith Wade will hand off to Kaiser, and now they'll slow it down and set the offense at the half court.
Kessler just kind of waited a half a second on that entry pass.
Big step, little step, then put the ball down there and call that travel. Lee Johnson with the quick whistle. Lee's done it a long time, been around officiating for a long time, so good to see him here at the state tournament. Bass up top. Give it up to Everson, back to Bass. Across the lane, Kessler comes up with it, still 17 on the shot clock. Last touch, Aberdeen Christian, 16 on the shot clock, 48 seconds on the game clock.
Just those entry passes into the post people right now for Casa. I mean, Aberdeen Christian, nice job. Brooks Jett, kind of just playing behind because he has the size to do it, but then also able to kind of pull the chair a little bit and get around and knock stuff away from him.
Kessler with 10 on the shot clock now. Get a screen from Warnke. Go left, pull it, no good. Tipped around, rebound taken out of there. But a 2.5-second difference, shot clock to game clock. Coach Rohrbach trying to get Dylan Hofer's attention, finally does. Going to be able to get essentially the last shot.
You'll see Castlewood do this quite often too, though. He goes into that 2-3 zone, you know, at the end of quarters and stuff like that. But just to give a different look. And
2 on the shot clock. Hofer not going to get it off. 1.5 seconds remaining. Whoa, hang on.
That was just the shot clock.
I'm going to go switch over to the handheld here so I can get down here and catch up with Coach Rohrbach, but we'll just make that call on the walk. How's that sound?
That's perfect.
Length of the floor to go for Castlewood. Brody Bass will inbound. Castlewood on the run. They'll let it fly. Not going to go. And we'll go to halftime. 30-23 as Aberdeen Christian leads Castlewood. Your 4 over your 5 here in our second game of the day. We'll catch up with Coach Rohrbach. Talk about that big second quarter. It was a situation where, Steve, you and I talked about it, just a situation where they kind of tried to see what each other would do and then figure out what to do next. We'll talk with Coach real quick. Coach Rohrbach, nice first half. Talk about that second quarter. Boy, your kids put on a little run there about 2.5 minutes and it really separated your team.
Yeah, how about Jet Johnson? You're like, there's no, I mean, making three straight threes in a state tournament is no small task, and he really got us going there in the second. But Dylan Hofer also getting that skill really big.
Well, he goes in the trees, gets the rebound, runs to the corner, and lets it fly. That's a kid feeling it.
Oh, we love Dylan Hofer. He's all over the place all the time, and we call him State Dylan or Playoff Dylan.
Talk a little bit about the second half, any adjustments, what do you need to do to continue to run things out?
Yeah, you know, these are 32-minute ball games, so yeah, we're happy about having a 7-point lead, but at the end of the day, this is a good ball club, and you know, they're going to be ready to play the second half, so we got to continue to win possessions both offensively and defensively.
Congrats on the good start. You bet. Head coach Matt Rohrbach of Aberdeen Christian. We'll take our break, come back, have our second half, take some highlights, talk things over here from the state tournament in Aberdeen on SD.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity. You hear about work-life balance like it's a big equation you have to find the answer to. But I think it's much simpler than that. So simple it was right in front of us. Start with the life you want, and everything else will follow.
At Southeast Technical College, you won't just study for a career, you'll live it. Training in classrooms that look, feel, and operate just like the real world. Because the best way to do what you learn is to learn by doing. Get your degree, get to work at Southeast Technical College.
No, he came this way. Okay. Because he's talking to the refs.
From Walks Arena inside the Barnett Center, I'm Brad DeBeer. The second half here going to get underway, 6 minutes or so. talk a little bit about some stats there from that first half as we take a look at these first half highlights.
Yeah, looking at stats, it's pretty even both ways. Aberdeen Christian slight edge in rebounds, 13-9, but otherwise it basically comes down to shooting. Castlewood 10 of 22 from the field for 45%. Aberdeen Christian 12 of 22 for 54%, 5 of 10 from deep, which has really kind of sparked Aberdeen Christian.
There you saw Brooks Jet hit that at the end of the first quarter, and you're going to see Jet Johnson all of a sudden go bang, bang, bang back to back as Cam Kessler tried to keep Castlewood in it. He got to the basket after he hit a couple outside shots. There's Johnson one time on the in the corner. Hofer runs out, gets a layup, and they're going to get ball movement again here a couple of times, push it up the floor, and that's a transition three that if you're Aberdeen Christian, you love that shot right now.
Well, especially after he just came and hit 2 in a row previous to that. So, I mean, it's kind of the heat check one, but in transition, you got numbers and rebounders flying down the floor. So, good shot, and he knocks it down for him.
Well, there we sit at halftime. The score, 30-23, a 7-point difference as Aberdeen Christian leads Castlewood. Take a break, come back, catch up with Coach Rosh real quick, and then get you set ready for our second half when we return on SD-PB.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, opportunity is turned into progress. Through research, education, and a community that inspires, SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're taking action with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
Are Peterson reps real-life seed heroes? Well, they've been known to go the extra mile. Literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson, we're that kind of seed company.
For your little ones and your biggest joys. Or your forever friends. And your fur kids, too. For your better half. Or your all-time bestie. For the reasons you smile, there's coverage. With dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of South Dakota and Delta Vision.
Nothing has embodied the American spirit like the family farmer. Year after year, they continue to work the land and plant their crops. Through droughts, floods, and uncertain markets, they keep that spirit alive with another crop harvested for the next generation. And for that, we tip our hats to them. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting those that protect America's food source.
Go ahead. I don't know if Brad's live. He's got the wireless mic, but I don't think it's working over there. He's trying to get a hold of Coach Rosh, but
they're quicker to the ball and doing everything a little quicker than we are, and a little more energy. They hit some big shots against us, pretty deep ones. Got to get to the three-point shooters. They've proven on film they can get hot, and they did that the first half.
Is it a change of X's and O's defensive-wise, or is it more just effort?
A little bit of both. We're gonna try to zone them a little bit here and see what happens, and try to slow them down. But we got to keep doing what we've done all year long. You can't change everything right now. We got to win these first 3 minutes. It's really important, these first 3 minutes of the second half, that we get ourselves back in it.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck. Head coach Paul Rosh there. He talked about it. Steve, you and I talked about the fact, too. Got to chase out to the perimeter, maybe, and take away those open looks. That's a lot of what they talked about.
yeah, and we mentioned it. Aberdeen Christian shooting the ball really well in the first half, so you'll see kind of like Coach Rosh mentioned, they'll mix it up, and if Aberdeen Christian can continue to knock down those looks, then we'll have a tight ball game here. But don't expect Castlewood to go away. They're the defending champs for a reason, and they'll come out for the next 16, and they'll give it what you got.
So the Castlewood Warriors, you heard it though, you talked about the zone. You know, I didn't know if you'd give up that piece of information right away, but Rogers, they've done it. I mean, you're the defending state champions. You've been through this stuff. This is not freak out time, but I do like his sense of urgency in this first 3 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, and I think more so that might just be for his own kids to kind of settle themselves a little bit and get back to who they are. You know, they kind of, defensively, they were the Castlewood that you've seen all year, but on the offensive end of the floor is where I think maybe a little more flow with what they're doing and get the looks that they want to get on that end.
Both teams to their benches already. They're out quick from halftime. Not a lot to talk about. I guess everything's been done, right?
Well,
when you come to work.
Coach Ross mentioned that too. You're not going to change a ton of stuff right now. You are who you are, and you know you're going to continue to hang your hat on what got you here.
They are who they thought they were?
I guess
so. Is that
so.
what you're saying, Dennis?
Yeah.
Dennis Green right there.
They are who we thought they were. Yeah.
That's great. Castlewood will inbound right in front of us here at half court. Brody Bass will trigger, and Tyson Manley will get Castlewood set. A 1-4 set out high, so they're going to change a couple things up offensively, run a couple different sets, and it works right off the top. Adderhold gets a back screen and an easy backdoor cut for a layup. As Adderhold gets the scoring started for Castlewood, they need to get him involved, I think, a little too here in this second half. It was kind of the Camden Kessler show here in that first half.
Yeah, and I think part of that is the way Aberdeen Christian was defending them, but you know, and
we're gonna get Wernke, or we're gonna get Manley on the grab on the backside. Kevin Ball says foul on 5. That'll be Tyson Manley picking up his second personal. Free throws up and good for Luke Kaiser. Luke had a good second quarter there too, at 5 points in that second quarter, ended up with 7 for the half. Guys are good on the second.
Kaiser does average 11. There's their second leading scorer for him, so.
Cut. Kessler with the left hand, can't get it to go. Kind of lost momentum. Brooks Jett has it taken away though by Wernke. Bass, and has it knocked out of his hand out of bounds by Jet Johnson. Aberdeen Christian bench.
Great job by Wernke to not give up on that play and break up that pass from Hofer to Johnson.
They got a lot of student managers on the end of their bench over there. I think they got their JV team hanging out with them too. Dylan Hofer on the run out after the pick. Now he'll slow it down. Hofer back out top. Kaiser will swing it. Jet Johnson launches another one, too strong. Manley will run out, leave it for Adderhold. The lob up to Kessler, no good. A little too strong.
Usually that's the other way around.
Yes.
Kessler to Adderhold, but you heard Coach Rosh talk about it. They're going to try to go to that 2-3, and you saw it a little bit throughout the first half from them, but a little more extensively here on this end of the floor and try to disrupt the rhythm of the Knights.
In the lane, the floater no good, tipped up by Jet, no good. Foul on Hofer. Not going to knock that one out of that guy's hands. Leonard Wernke, the rebound, and then Hofer comes flying in and swats him on the arm. Just shy of 2 minutes gone here in our second quarter. Aberdeen Christian still with a 7-point lead, 32-25. So both teams with a basket here in the quarter. Off the glass, Kessler this time to the right side when he was first half going left.
Kind of a hesitation dribble there and back to the rim to score it. Through contact again too.
Lob to the free throw line. Jet gets it back. Kaiser will fling it out, but Bass will take it away. Heads up, don't let that guy come into the table. Oh my. Joe, I thought you were going to catch that guy.
right at Joe out. The table down from us. And
Dave Villahauer got stuffed papers flying all over.
They were there to take the charge, though.
I wish I could have seen their faces from the other side because their eyes had to be wide open. Kaiser on the far right wing here, way out high. He'll look at a three this time. Short. Rebound by Kaiser. That's good blockouts by Castlewood. Get everybody cleared out, let it bounce and go get it.
Want a good start to the second half. You know, you talked to Coach Rosh, and he said that first 3 minutes is kind of what they need to win or hope.
Shot blocked inside. Yes, they did win it by a bucket, but I think you maybe wanted a little bit more.
Yeah, I think on the offensive end, but I think they've done what they want to do defensively and kind of bust up the rhythm of what Aberdeen Christian had going.
Stepped out of bounds. We'll get our media timeout as we get some subs in. Kevin Ball, I think, is going to trigger it. We'll be ready to go to a break. Take our media timeout. We're back with more on SDPB Sports.
Creating a legacy means different things to everyone. For us, it's about family, watching my daughter follow in my footsteps, passing the farm under her, and working side by side every day. It's about building something that lasts. AgTegra Cooperative has been by our side through it all, supporting us from one generation to the next. AgTegra Cooperative, legacy rich, future focused for generations to come.
Out of the media timeout. Both teams some final instructions from their coaches. 4:35 to play in the quarter. 32-27 our score. Castlewood just trying to battle and hang in there. They were top 1 or 2 teams rankings wise all year long, it felt like, and they come into this the 5 seed.
Everson trying to run after that one and saw Warnke in his sights and just went to the floor. I'll let you grab it. Business decision there. I see Aberdeen Christian try to ramp up the pressure a little bit here.
Bass for 3. Brody Bass, big shot.
It's only Brody's second shot attempt of the game, and they're both made threes. So that was something I was going to mention at half is Castlewood wants to get something going a little bit more offensively. I think you're going to have to see number 4 maybe get involved a little bit more.
And that was a set for him to come off a screen to get that shot. So Rosher might be thinking the same thing. Calling a block on Warnke. I thought maybe he stepped on the end line, but nope, Leonard Warnke picks up the foul instead, his first.
Hofer kind of flirts with danger there on that baseline. He drives baseline a lot and kind of leaves his feet, and majority of the time he's been able to make something happen from it.
Brooks jet steps out, only a 2. Flashed the 3 to his bench, but wrong. That was a 2. He was on the line. Bass pull up again, left it short. Warnke! That is a great job by Leonard Warnke. Set the screen at 17 feet, sprint to the glass.
Just kind of that nose for the ball on the glass, and
you have a nose for the ball a little bit inside, and then you work as hard as he does, big things happen for you. Smith Wade for 3, no good. That's good ball fake.
And being 6'6" or 6'7" in that athletic doesn't hurt either.
That helps. Sometimes you don't have to work as hard when you're built like that, right? Adderhold going to come out and set a screen way out high. Good job by Kessler to rub that screen. Kessler fouled. They're going to get 2. He does. Foul going to be whistled on number 3, Luke Kaiser. Second personal. Here you see it's a little reverse pivot into the lane. Actually surprised he didn't just throw that one off the glass for Adderhold coming down the lane, but it's a good look at Cam Kessler. Should put a side-by-side with him from last year to this year in a picture. You talk about guys that their bodies have changed. His upper body, he's become a football player that can play basketball. I mean, you know what I mean?
Tremendous year on the football field for Castlewood. And
too strong. And again, I don't know that Cam is quite the shooter that his brother was last year. Brendan was. Cam gets to the basket. Brendan could stroke it. That kid had a sweet jumper.
Jamison.
Brendan's the oldest. Sorry, when he played for Hamlin. But yeah, Jamison
Brendan
last year.
did a little bit of all of it, but yeah.
Up and in for Brooks Jett.
It's one thing you kind of saw Aberdeen Christian that first 3-4 minutes of the half kind of get away from things offensively, but the last 2 possessions going to Brooks Jett to kind of get them settled down on the offensive end.
Smith Wade picked up his second personal. Loyal will stay in though. Kessler go back to the free throw line. So he missed his last 2. He's 1 for 3 at the stripe. They're going to let Jet Johnson into the lane. 2:25 to play in the quarter. Fairly fast third quarter here as well. That one a little too strong. It's been a fast game. It's only 2 o'clock, not even 2 o'clock yet.
Yeah, both of them. I thought the first one this morning was fairly well played, quickly played.
There, Cam gets back in the rhythm. Two for 6. Is Kessler at the line now? Aberdeen Christian as that zone of Castlewood really extending this time. Smith Wade flips it up and in somehow. First basket for Loyal Smith Wade.
One of those where you get to a certain point, it's like, well, I don't have any other options. It's just go
let her fly. Dylan Hofer comes out of the lane with the ball. Johnson, no. Rebound, Everson. 38-33, Aberdeen Christian by 5. Brody Bass against Brooks Jett. Kick it, Wernke. Inside, Adderhold catches it, loses it, but is fouled. You're going to see it. Threw it just a little too high, but Adderhold able to get up off the floor and just get fingers on it.
One of those where I think when Wernke got ready, he saw the backside help coming over and was like, wasn't sure if he should throw it or not, but.
Adderhold. We were at the timeout on the floor, full timeout. We were at the coaches clinic down in Sioux Falls in October. And I'll tell you about that story when we come back on SDPB Sports. Quick break.
Since 1882, we've raised 5 generations of hardworking Americans on this land. Our great-great-grandfather believed in something simple: respect the land and it will provide. Anthem Oats, grown by us, shared with you.
Your Great Plains Case IH dealers know that hard work starts early, in the field and on the field or the court. Dedication, teamwork, pride. The values driving farmers also power South Dakota athletes. Growing crops or growing champions, it takes the same drive to succeed. Your local Great Plains Case IH dealers know the future is built by showing up day after day, ready to work, ready to win. Great Plains Case IH dealers, supporting schools, athletes, and the communities we grow.
Back inside Watts Arena, Brad DeBeer alongside Steve Erickson. Back to my story real quick. Coach Rosh was a presenter at that coaches clinic, and we're down at the Pentagon in Sioux Falls. And as a presenter, you can bring your team in and they can go through drills. So he brought his team to do drills, and I'm not sure Will Adderhold did anything but dunk every drill. Like, it was incredible, and it was like stuff out of nowhere. And that's when we sat there like, where did this kid come from? But he's had a really good year tonight. A little quiet, but he's got 6 points now.
Remember him last year playing JV and some minutes, on the varsity. But yeah, when you're playing behind Brian Lowry last year, it's practice and learn and get better, and it's showing that he's done that.
And he's only a sophomore.
Thanks for the reminder.
See, I know that's a foul because he lands on it, but let's see once if he goes straight up. See, he goes straight up and down. Those are always the ones as a coach I'm always like, man, I can jump to the ceiling, you tell me. And then he puts his butt into me and moves me. Again, if I'm the offensive coach
Which
at
is
the time,
offensively, that's what you tell your teams to do.
Defensively, I'm mad as the coach, but it's just that's one of those calls. And I'm not saying that Michelson called it wrong, because that's how it's always called, don't get me wrong. In and out, no good. Kessler comes away with it. Kessler, bring it up with the left hand. Try to reset things. Run a little weave out top, hand it off. Bass off the screen. Kessler for three from the top, got it.
Great set
tied
play.
at 38.
Great set play by Castlewood. Gets Kessler an open look. See if you can get him going. He's been quiet on the offensive end this half. So,
yeah, 6 points in the quarter. But two of those, of course, are one of those at the free throw line. 5 seconds, down to 4-3. Hofer. Kessler will let it fly, going to be short. Pretty good line, but left it short. We'll take a break. We're going to our final 8 minutes, tied at 38, and the Warriors win the third. We're back with more on SDPB Sports.
Across South Dakota are coming together to elevate, educate, and empower. This June, the Department of Education hosts the South Dakota Literacy Conference in Mitchell, a gathering dedicated to advancing the science of reading and sharing new insights into how students learn, exploring research and real-world strategies for South Dakota educators to move literacy forward for all learners. South Dakota Department of Education, learning, leadership, service.
Protecting crops. Agronomy Plus in Mitchell, Rock Creek in Howard, and Valley Station in Armour provide agronomy services, fertilizer products, and crop analysis systems, including Agronomy 365. This system helps manage your field's performance, supporting small-town communities while hiring and training local youth. Agronomy Plus in Mitchell, Rock Creek in Howard, and Valley Station in Armour, serving area producers and their communities.
We're ready to roll here out of the quarter break. Grady Jett will inbound for Aberdeen Christian. And we're off and running. Kaiser guarded out there on the wing on that extended 2-3. Kessler gets the takeaway. He'll run it out. They're going to call a hand on the side by Luke Kaiser. So a foul on Kaiser, his third personal. Oh, there you see it right there. That's a good call by Lee Johnson.
Great call by Lee, because you saw Cam kind of respond with the same thing, and it's like sometimes those are the ones that get called, but it's like
he had the perfect view of it. You could see it, him in the background of that angle. That was pretty good. Great camera work, guys, as always. Our Bison crew today. Took on Will Adderhold and finishes at the rim. Here you'll see it right in front of you. 5'8", 6'5", got it. I think he just brought the arm down a little bit. That's what they're calling.
He had the ball for a while, too.
Yeah.
But
Dylan Hofer makes it 40-38. In and out, no good, and a rebound, Wernke. Everson, oh, good move. Jet blocks it. The foul going to be called. That was a quick move up top.
He kind of caught it off balance when he came flying from that wing, but then got himself set and feet under him and then attacked hard.
Hofer picks up his second personal. Everson will go to the free throw line. No points in the game for Everson as of yet. That one gives him his first, and it's his first attempt at the free throw line. Back 40-40. Another good basketball game here to open up day one, session one. Okay, that was interesting. A timeout called.
Great
I don't know
job
if we got that, but Hofer landed on the ball. Watch this.
And how he kind of went between his legs to get it out of there, but yeah.
Great stuff. 40-40.
Takes Aberdeen Christian down to 2 timeouts left, though, here for the remainder of this fourth quarter.
And again, I don't know if you needed that timeout, quite honestly, at the time it was called. And can you have possession sitting on it? Does that warrant possession?
Yeah.
It was called later, but I'm just asking. If you're sitting on the ball, can you, it's mine, timeout.
I don't know who, if it came from Coach Rohrbach, called it from the sideline,
or a kid,
but Hofer had dribbled all the way out, and it almost looked like Michelson was pointing at one of the kids calling it.
That's what I thought. Regardless, they use it, we move on. Way out high to get it started from the baseline. Hofer on the baseline, attacks against Wernke, blocked by Bass. Hofer gets the loose ball back. Everson in the lane. It's Wernke off his feet. That left foot stayed
Fans
down.
wanted to travel, but yeah, I think that left foot stayed. Kind of got bumped on his.
Yep. It looked funny, but he just spun on his toes. Yep. 3 for Kessler. Got it! Cam Kessler. Is he looking at us? He's looking at us. What's that commercial?
Cam's hit a few big ones today from downtown. So.
Hope for the answer? No. Last touch, Wernke. There you see it. Wernke goes up to get it, just can't corral this rebound. Off that left hand of Wernke, out of bounds. Good camera work and good call by our officials once again. Aberdeen Christian hasn't scored this quarter. Bass with the rebound. Next, not quite yet. I was going to say next dead, but we're not quite there.
Jet Johnson with a good look last possession for Aberdeen Christian, but just
Kessler again.
Great drive and finish with the left, and he's got 25 for the game.
And a double dribble. Thought he patted it.
Yeah, Luke Kaiser.
Kaiser says, I went to pass it, but Kevin Ball's telling him, but the ball hit the ground after you went. That's double dribble. Kessler thought about it again. Bass, no. Inside, Wernke. Blocked by Brooks Jet. Wernke gets it back. Bass, step back, 3 on the way, short. Jet comes out of there, loses it. Kessler, 3, dead on. Got it! Cam Kessler!
Huge shot from Kessler, but chalked that one up to Everson for that offensive rebound and kick out, too.
Nick Wade misses the 3. And a foul on Dylan Hofer. He'll pick up his 3rd personal.
It's big. Hofer's kind of the engine that gets these guys going, so.
We'll go to the media timeout after the foul is called on Dylan Hofer, and we'll take a break. We're back with more on SDPB Sports.
I can't imagine being anything other than a nurse. I'm also much more than a nurse. And working at Avera lets me find balance between the career that called me and a life that fulfills me.
From Watts Arena, what a great first day crowd we've had here for both sessions, especially since it's so nice outside from what I hear.
Nice outside, NCAA tournament on, but yeah, fans are still coming to watch the Class B tournament here in Aberdeen.
You know, we talk about this all the time. This tournament isn't just about the basketball games themselves. Obviously, that's great. There's a lot of people that just come here and meet up. It's their yearly reunion, so to speak. Bass with the crossover on Kaiser. Back to Kessler now, who will set things. Tells Will Adderhold just to wait. They're going to run some clock before they start doing anything. Kessler blocked. Hofer will go get it in the lane. Kick out. Smith-Wade, the freshman. Back up top, Kaiser. Kaiser down the lane, over Wernke. Left it short. Brody Bass! Out of nowhere. The hurdler ought to try to maybe do a high jump or something.
Big rebound because Brooks Jet was standing on that backside, I think, ready to clean up the old glass.
And he gets up quick as well, but boy, Brody Bass, I haven't seen him get up that quick for a while. Kessler in the lane, floats the right hand up and in. 30 for Kessler. He looks gassed right now. Coach Rosh might need a timeout.
Oh, great play by Everson.
And a foul on Everson. Yeah. Are they going to call it on Adderhold Lane? No, they'll get Everson with the push, I think. Cam Kessler is hurting right now. He is tired. Might need some water. Can we get the timeout? Yeah, he's going to save him.
One of those kids at this point, too, it's like you can't afford to take him off the floor, even to buy him a little bit. 30 seconds. But, you know, so it's like use your timeouts for that purpose. And
he had 14 at half. He's got 16 in the second half for 30 in the game.
And I know I think you said 6 or 7 in the third quarter, but it felt like the third quarter for him was pretty quiet.
Yeah, he hit a 2. He had that layup early, got 1 of 4 at the free throw line, then hit that 3 that kind of got him jump started. Got the wave getting started here. A young fan running laps. He looks tired too. Get that kid some water. It's great. He got so tired he couldn't even put his hands up to tell everybody what he was doing. He just kept running circles. I think they got a new speaker system in here or something compared to a year ago. It's hot right now. atmosphere. Dylan Hofer out top, spin move.
Good look.
Jet Johnson on the baseline has to kick it out. Kaiser will give it to Johnson. Back up to Kaiser. 10 on the shot clock. Now Hofer will attack, runs into Wernke. Not going to win that one. Wernke is a beast inside, and a foul going to be called. Is that going to go against?
I think Everson grabbed the arm. Looked like Loyal kind of knocked the ball away,
there.
But then
No
Everson
doubt.
grabbed the.
Absolutely no doubt when you see the replay. Blocked.
Pass got a piece of that.
All of a sudden, Brody Bass has got some springs. Oh, Adderhold was waiting.
Smart decision by Everson though, because Hofer is probably knocking that ball away. So great job by Dylan Hofer too to
Bigger thing
disrupt
is
that.
And the bigger thing is Hofer picks up 4.
Yeah.
That's his 4th foul, and he's kind of their engine right now. Scoreless in the 4th for Aberdeen Christian. What a defensive performance here in the second half. Oh, everybody's hitting the deck. Watch this collision in midair. Surprised Kessler didn't hit his head.
Yeah.
Jet Johnson comes out. Everson goes way up high to get it. Adderhold to Cam Kessler.
And Castle will just be content too of running that shot clock down every possession. And
Brooks Jet, they'll throw it out. Smith-Wade against Wernke. Hangs, can't finish, gets the putback. Loyal Smith-Wade with the first basket of the 4th quarter for Aberdeen Christian with 1:50 to play.
great attack by him and way to stick with it after that first miss and to get that and go put it back in.
Well, we got a couple of good ones coming up tonight again, too. We'll talk more about schedule when we're done with this one, but Freeman and Sully Buttes, the 2 versus the 7. And then, of course, our nightcap tonight, D. Smith and Wall. The Bulldogs 19-4, Wall 19-4. Highest scorers of the schedule as you see it. The highest point getter on the season, I guess, if you will, or averaging in the state tournament. Teelan Kierstead, 27.9 points per game, will be featured in that one. Grant Wilkinson, though, the 6'10 big man for DeSmit, averages 24.5 points, 10.2 rebounds.
Yeah, so I'm going to say Grant makes an impact on both ends of the floor for DeSmit. Kind of see some different styles in that game of how they want to play. DeSmit, wants to not necessarily slow it down, but play through the bigs and inside out, and the Wall's gonna get up and down the floor, and saw that here last year. They like to run and let it fly.
They say 6'10", 280. He's going on to play football at SDSU. I think he's 3 bills. He's strong. He does not come out of the game either. I don't know.
Good footwork.
He don't
good
miss many
hands.
minutes.
Yeah, he's.
Just over 90 seconds to go in this one. Who's moving on to this championship semifinals? Take on Lyman as the #1 seed. Viborg Hurley was beaten by the Raiders earlier today. Under 10, Kessler. Hesitation dribble to the top. Manley, a flyby. Euro and a travel.
I'm not sure about that one. Maybe that's great patience by Manley on the catch, but Looked like 2 from where we were at, but
a lot of feet from between us and them. And I don't mean feet as in inches, I mean feet as in human feet. Warnke tries to defend, but Grady Jett finishes.
It's his first basket in quite a while, too, for Emory Christian.
Game. Ten-second call. That was a fast.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to go back and look. I don't think. Yeah, I know the shot clock, but
did it go back to 35? Was
that's
my
what
question.
I was wondering if it didn't
it
get
just
reset,
felt really
or
fast.
if it got reset and started before they kind of inbounded it. But
I just didn't feel like there was a lot. It took that long.
Agreed.
Foul inside as Grady Jett has all of a sudden come to life. Foul is called on number 4, Brody Bass. Bass pick up his second. Grady Jett will go back to the free throw line. Oh, Grady Jett gets that one to go. We had one of those 10-second calls on us this year that felt like that too. Just like the other team wasn't really pressuring us, and I was kind of talking to them, and all of a sudden we're like, what? That went that fast? There's no way. Like, you know, you just don't go back and look. I forget about it by the end. It didn't make a difference in the game, but back to 4, 50-46. Kessler to Everson. Everson will dribble it out. Good decision.
Everson,
Smith Wade,
59% free throw shooter on the year. So,
well, he's 100% today, 2 for 2. Now it's too strong.
The announcer's curse.
Well, that, and I don't believe in that, by the way, but not as a coach, but as an announcer, I don't believe in that. The fact that it's a 4-point game right now, when he made those free throws earlier, they were up 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a little, you know.
Maybe a little difference in the pressure, but yeah.
Not that those first ones don't mean anything, because they do, because it's led to this, but it's going to stay a 2-possession game regardless at 50-46 right now. Again, winner advances to the 5 p.m. Central Time tip-off tomorrow night in our first championship semifinal. Take on the Lyman Raiders. The loser will tip it off at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning against the number 1 seed, Cougars of Ibert Hurley. Castlewood's got to like the idea of coming into this tournament. I mean, not right now, it don't make any difference, but the thought of it coming in as a 5 seed, though, defending champs, coming as a 5, everybody's kind of, they're 5 seed, and you know how kids think. They think of numbers. They see that. Everson, 3 for 4 at the stripe. Step through.
Nice
Smith Wade. Bass gets it to Kessler. Kessler will be fouled.
Great job by Kessler there, too. After the made basket, didn't grab it and jump out of bounds right away. He stood there and let somebody else. So that ran 3-4 seconds off, too, before they even had to inbound it.
And then made sure he stayed on the baseline, not anybody between him and the ball. So it's an easy pitch into him. And he knows he's going to be the one with the basketball, right? Guy that wants the ball in his hands. Both teams with a timeout remaining. Castlewood possession, 25 seconds to play. Shooting free throws, chance to get it, I guess, back to 5. Regardless, it's 2 possessions if it makes one of the 2, but he misses the first. Cam's had such a great game with 30 points, but the free throw line has really kind of been his nemesis. In and out, no good. It's a 1-possession game. Hofer, they're going to play it out. Down 3, he's going to take the layup. up and in. They get the timeout with 12 seconds to play. So they elect to just play it out. Kaiser goes for the layup rather than the tying three.
Great drive by Kaiser to get downhill and attack the rim. That's one of those two where you're take it at Castlewood, make them. There's enough time left in the basketball game yet to, if you drive it at them, maybe there's an and one play. But now you got to hope Castlewood, even if they foul and make both free throws, you still got a shot here. Aberdeen Christian is out of timeouts now too.
Lee Johnson's going to come over to the alternate official, just make sure that everything's ready to go here. We're going to get the, started. The instant replay, because again, they can use instant replay to see if the shot was off before the buzzer, or if a three was a three or a two on the last shot only.
Just those two.
Only on a winning shot.
Those two things, yep.
Lots of conversation, of course, after this year's region game, where a lot of proposals, or I guess the proposals never really came in time, but there's talk of we need to have everybody have that. Everybody's got live stream, except not everybody can replay their live stream that fast. That's going to be the issue. Roush is going to draw one up to get the ball inbounded. Brody Bass run the baseline. Poked it right back to Bass. He got in and established himself just in time. That's good thinking of Brody Bass to get in quickly. Feed her in there.
And when Brody ran the baseline, he had somebody release deep too, but I think he had ran himself underneath the backboard so he couldn't throw it deep.
Almost needed to keep going, run a little farther. That foul, by the way, called on number 5, Loyal Smith-Wade. No, I'll take that back, on number 10, Raymond Rodriguez Martinez. Brody Bass. In this game, he's been big shot Brody. He needs one more to make it a 3-point game and guarantee that his team can't lose on a last-second shot.
So if he does make this, are you a foul up 3 coach here?
Yes and no. I mean, when do you do it? That's the thing. Now, with the size they've got with Adderhold and Wernke on the, on the bottom of their free throw, or even Bass down there, the chances of them tipping over you are less.
Yeah. Yep.
But again, I don't know. I think I'm gonna play it out. Your best shooter for Aberdeen Christian at a 3-point shooter is 30%, 33, 38%, right? I mean, so the chances are still in your favor by making them have to shoot something. And the way you've got athletes that can defend.
And Aberdeen Christian's probably drawing up a 3-pointer because they're out of timeout, so they can't stop the clock. So
yeah, you can't put it in the hands of the officials if you're Matt Rohrbach and say, okay, take it to the basket and draw a foul, because you might not get it called in this situation. Well, nonetheless, another dandy here to open up day 1 of the 2026 Class B Boys State Basketball Tournament in Aberdeen, your home of Class B State Basketball Tournament action. Thanks for having us on. STPB.org, STPB2TV.
Two really good ones to start the weekend off, so yeah.
Jim Koenig watching in back in Toronto. Jimmer, thanks for having us on, buddy. Hope we're going to get a wide open look. Missed it. And that's your ball game. Castlewood will survive. I'm going to switch over to the handheld mic again.
Great job by Aberdeen Christian to get that look for Hofer.
What a game. What a finish. Steve, you talked about it, and Coach Roush talked about it. Second half, win that first 3 quarters, but they came out and they won the second half with defense.
They did. They really, Rashi talked about it at halftime about going to their 2-3 and see what they'll do. It just, Aberdeen Christian just got things rolling in that first half against Castlewood's man-to-man, and the Warriors went to that 2-3 zone that's given people fits all year, and they just play it so well that it takes away driving lanes, it takes away passing angles, and Aberdeen Christian didn't shoot it as well in the second half. So that 2-3 got even a little more tighter on them. So great job by the defending champion Warriors to battle through that one, but hats off to Aberdeen Christian for a game effort in that one.
For sure. Coach Rosh making his way over here, and Coach, congratulations. Careful. You talked about it at half.
Mom's at home.
Oh,
my mom.
Always got to get the mom shout. You talked about it at halftime. Got to come out, play defense, and play your game. Don't change much. That zone did change things.
It did. We went to a zone, just had to hope they were going to miss, and they missed a few shots, and we were able to change the momentum a little bit. It took us a while to get going offensively in the second half, but Kessler was unbelievable tonight down the stretch, and it took that. Aberdeen Christian, we knew coming in we knew it was a tough draw. They're as good as anybody in the state, and it played out that way today.
Your other kids did some other things. Cam was offensively unbelievable. Defensively, though, Brody Bass had some huge defensive rebounds just out of nowhere today.
He did, and he hit 2 big free throws, too. Those are bigger than think, to go put us up 3. Yeah, Brody was, he's the glue guy for us.
Right.
And, Cam's our spark plug, but Brody's the guy that holds us together, and both those guys did their jobs today, and luckily we're moving on.
A lot of those kids that played in these big games, big situations, some hadn't as much, but those older kids that have been here, they took control for your team.
They did, but our younger guys did too. They didn't shy away from we're down 7 at half, and people were probably counting us out a little bit. I just walked in and said, this game's far from over. We just got to do what we've done all year and keep grinding, and we're not always pretty at times, but we do what we have to do to win games and get ourselves to that next round.
Cooper Garnis and the Lyman Raiders will wait in the championship semifinals. He's studying.
They were very impressive.
Yeah.
First game. We played them last year in the first game in the tournament, and a couple of their guys turned in boys into men. They put some muscle on, and it's going to be a really good matchup. We're looking forward to it. And Cooper's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine, and it should be a lot of fun tomorrow night.
Good to have the DVC represented back in the championship semis, my friend.
Thank you.
You bet. Paul Rosh, the head coach at Castlewood. We'll take a break, come back, recap, get you set up for our night session here in Aberdeen on SD PB Sports.
It's not just about making a living. It's about upholding a way of life. We are connected to this land, committed to the future. Bank West.
Powering the possibilities of tomorrow starts today. For our homes, our farms, our businesses. That's why our Touchstone Energy Cooperative continually plans for the future by utilizing and sourcing safe, reliable power for the next generation. So we can power possibilities long into the future. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, powering possibilities.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, opportunity is turned into progress. Through research, education, and a community that inspires, SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're taking action with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
Bioethanol supplies more than just energy. It creates jobs in rural communities. It drives demand for local corn. It provides opportunities for family farms to thrive. To ensure agriculture plays a leading role in the efforts to decarbonize and transition energy, bioethanol remains at the forefront of a pursuit for a cleaner, brighter future for all Americans. Learn how at sdethanol.com.
Back inside Wachs Arena. Takes a little longer to unload here at Wachs Arena than it did at First Bank and Trust. Last weekend is a different venue, but nonetheless, one of the greatest venues to host a state tournament is this Wachs Arena in the Barnett Center. Well, you heard from Coach Roush and what he thought of what his guys did in this game, Steve, and you talked a lot about some of those same things, and they were able to get it done here in the second half.
Yeah, I think just, kind of championship pedigree showing through. And Rashi said he walked into halftime and far from over, and it was. And as much as we talked about at halftime, that first half was basically, it came down to stats were pretty much even, and it honestly stayed that way for the whole game, except in the second half. The shooting percentages flipped, and Aberdeen Christian struggled to shoot the ball in the second half, and I think kudos to the Castlewood defense with that, and that kind of flipped the tide for them, and they got some things going offensively. And Camden Kessler, 12 of 24 from the field for 30 points, 4 of 6 from 3. He just kind of put the team on his back there offensively and said, let's get going until some other guys could get some things going. And Brody Bass hit a couple big shots for him and got a couple things with their bigs, whether it be from an offensive board and a putback. But yeah, Castlewood and Rashi said it too. They don't always do things the prettiest, but man, they're always in games, and they're always going to give themselves a chance to win. You just don't see that panic from their kids. And and that being said, Aberdeen Christian, I thought, had a great game plan coming in and really battled and did what they wanted to do in that first half. And they just missed a few shots that they were making in the first half. They missed in the second half, and that's what allowed Castlewood to kind of get themselves rolling a little bit.
Castlewood 19 of 40 from the field, 6 of 11 from the three-point line, 9 of 18 from the free throw line. Aberdeen Christian 20 of 50 from the field, 5 of 22 from the three-point line. All 5 were in that first half too. Didn't hit a 3 in the second half. Credit the defense for that. 5 of 6 at the free throw line, so only got to the free throw line 6 times, and that makes a big difference too. Of course, that zone the second half, big difference in that. 28-26, Aberdeen Christian out rebounds Castlewood. 17 turnovers though for Aberdeen Christian compared to 13 for Castlewood. It was 7 different times the score was tied, and it changed. The lead changed 8 times in that matchup. So that's how we close out our opening day. We'll come back, take a quick look, recap our first 2 games as far as winners, losers, look at the schedule, the bracket, and then get you set up for tonight. Throw it back, go get something to eat, and then get ready for a second session here at Wachs Arena. We'll do that coming back on SDPB Sports.
You live life on the move. While you determine what direction that may be, we're here to help along the way. So go. Go with values. Go with friends. Go with support. Go with convenience.
At Muth Electric, we don't just power projects, we empower people. We invest in training, mentorship, and career development opportunities at every level. Because strong careers build strong communities. Your future is bright with Muth Electric. Muth Electric now hiring.
Lake Area Technical College provides hands-on learning and practical experience in real-world environments. Prepare for a career right out of school from the moment you step on campus for an education that can really be put to work. Lake Area Tech is the start of something new.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for all of it. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great. And we're here for all of it. See you at the game.
And we are back inside Walks Arena at the Barnett Center. Brad DeBeer alongside Steve Erickson. And Steve, just a real quick recap from you. Thoughts on the first day? What a great way to start it here with Viborg, Hurley, Lyman, and the Raiders getting the win, and then Castlewood the 3-point win over Aberdeen Christian.
Yeah, 2 great games to start it out, and kind of like we had discussed prior coming in too. It's throw the seeds out. The numbers beside those teams I don't think matter one bit in this tournament, and you saw that in the first 2 games, and 2 good games, and 2 more I think that are going to be coming up tonight that are going to provide some more entertainment for us.
Our first one will go on the air at 5 o'clock, probably tip things off closer to 5:10 or so. The Freeman Flyers, number 2 seed in this ball game, and then Sully Buttes Chargers, the number 7 seed. They got here with a win over Dupree in the Sodak 16 on a last-second shot. So again, they had just every chance that as much to be watching this as all these other teams, but they found a way to win. DeSmet and the Wall Eagles in our nightcap tonight, 3 versus the 6. Wall was here last year. DeSmet was not here last year, but they've won a couple in the years prior, so they know what it's about. This group all grew up watching the Bulldog teams of the past be here, so we look forward to that. Should we go get something to eat?
Absolutely.
I think it's time to eat. For all of us here, for BA back in the back room, Christian, Levi, all the guys on the camera, the Bison High School boys, thank you guys. And for all, and girls, I didn't know we had girls. Where are they at? Behind us? Oh, good job, ladies. I didn't even know we had them on the camera. I never turn around. Sorry about that. And then for Steve Erickson, I'm Brad DeBeer. We're back with more tonight here on SDPB Sports.